Are we live
Hello,
now?
we are
Hello.
live. So funny thing happened on the way to the forum. We lost one of our compadres here. Why do I have to watch ads on my own channel? And why
Get
won't
an
it
ad
mute
blocker.
it?
Because Twitch.
But it's my own channel and I have it muted and it's not muted. What the? All right, cool. Anyway.
Yeah, our other party member is down with the sickness.
She's get up, get down with the sickness. So to be a little
Everyone has
different,
been subject to con flu this week.
yeah. So yeah, but we're here. We decided as a family not to finish Death House without Charlie. But we can share some of the things that we've been up to. So who wants to go first? Or we can talk about our characters. I don't know. We
I
can
was
do
gonna say
whatever.
mine's not game related. You have something game related.
Yeah,
Mine
but
is that I married someone last week.
you did marry, but you know what? We'll save all my game relatedness because I'm gonna ramble for a very long time.
Okay.
So if you would
Well, then I'll
like
go into
to.
mine, I guess. So I didn't actually get married. I married someone. Key difference.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my cousin Heather got married to her awesome husband Mike. They are currently enjoying their honeymoon
Marriage.
in Nolans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lots of
cool.
history, lots of live music, lots of art. Very much them. They're two old souls that belong together, and they're beautiful people, and I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I flew back to Philadelphia last week, which is why we weren't able to stream. I was there for all of 4 days. Drove to a colonial town in Pennsylvania where we had this beautiful wedding in front of an old historic building. I got like super sick from the flu 2 days beforehand. Super cool. And yeah, I officiated for the first time ever, and I looked super cute doing it apparently because people were like, "Oh." So pictures on my Instagram / Twitter / God knows where else was on the internet. So yeah, that's what I did last week, and then BlizzCon before that.
I was gonna say you did something before that.
I did.
That was kind of
Pretty epic.
exciting.
Two other people in this room also got to do something super cool.
Oh, there's
2
somebody
weeks
in
ago.
that room with you?
Oh my god, no, yeah.
Fuck you, Kyle. That was it.
Oh yeah. Fuck you, Kyle.
At least once a week.
Kyle doesn't even watch our streams, so like extra fuck you, Kyle.
Well, it's out
I
there.
will clip that part and send it to him just specifically.
Wait, hold on. I want to be like, clip this part for him. Fuck you, Kyle. Okay.
And clipped.
Clipped.
Oh no, I can't clip on here because we're not. Oh, mother f.
You should be able to clip.
I can't clip because I don't think we're fancy enough.
No, you can
We should
clip.
be able to.
You can clip. Trust me.
I don't see a button for clip. That's okay. I'll
We'll
take
make
a
sure.
copy of it
We
later.
will definitely make sure to clip it.
I'll do a thing. Anyway.
So we'll just keep going around talking about what we've done. And,
Yeah. So Mandy, Jenna, do you want to talk
I'm
about
frantically trying to come up with what I'm getting up to.
what you've been up to. I mean, so me and Jenna, we also went to BlizzCon. We went out, we saw Adam. We did a lot in California. Like it was, you could take it, baby. We did so
That
much
baby
crap.
was
We went to Universal. We got to go to Hogwarts and Halloween Horror Nights. We got to meet new friends. If anybody here knows Rice Pirate Mick Lauer, got to meet up with him and have lunch. That was super cool. Super sweet, awesome guy. Then what did we do? We worked on cosplays. I was like, what did we do the next day? Worked on some cosplays.
Yeah.
Your pads kept breaking.
Yeah. 80s Zarya. And then, so we went to BlizzCon for the weekend. That was such a goddamn experience. Going in cosplay, especially. It's like if you haven't been to a big con or you haven't like cosplayed at a big con, like as soon as we
Yeah.
got there, people were stopping us for our pictures. So it was super cool. And then like
That's so cool.
yeah, it's just like the whole thing. Like everybody was so fucking nice. Like it was just one big family. Like oh god, the energy. Ugh, like it was just beautiful.
The
And it was
best
like
part was Sunday, because Mandy still blames me and Adam for ditching her after going to
Oh,
the
so
to this
all right.
outing.
So Anna Prosser
What ice cream
Robinson.
did
Oh, no, this is Saturday.
This was
Saturday,
Saturday because
that's
Sunday
Saturday.
wasn't the con day.
Sunday was Disneyland.
Yes, we'll get to that. So anyway, Adam Prosser Robinson is one of our like I would say like inspirations. Like, I feel like she's like a little like matriarch of our happy little family here. Because of her and like, you know, DCA and other streams that she's done. That's kind of how we, like, most of us got together here. And she encouraged us to stream, so that's why we're doing this. So like, she's just been really supportive of us. So she was a correspondent. I'm looking at like the screen, my camera's up at top, sorry. But she was a correspondent for BlizzCon. So all weekend I was like, we have to meet Anna. Like, we have to find her. And just like tell her how great she is. And so
this was
like,
the one thing that I told myself this weekend. I'm like, if there's anything I do for their BlizzCon experience, they need to meet Professor Robinson.
Yes. So we had seen her like from a distance a few times, but like she's flitting around like doing stuff. So like you don't want to stop them. But finally, what happened was on Saturday, I went to the bathroom while these guys. While these guys were
We wanted ice cream.
looking for ice
And then we
cream.
found popcorn. That's the story.
And they
Which
said,
is very much like ice cream.
They said when I went into the bathroom, they're like, we're going to wait for you right here. Well, guess what? I came out of the bathroom and they were gone. So now me, 80 Zarya, by myself, 35,000 people, and I'm looking for them. And as I'm like looking at my phone, I'm like walking like, like, where the fuck are you guys? I look up and like just a beacon of light is like shining down. And like, there she is, Anna Prosser Robinson. And I was like, oh shit. So I went over and I was like a little kid like, excuse me. I lost my friends, but I've been looking for you all weekend. And like, she was just so sweet. And I told her who I was and she knew. She was like, oh yeah, the D&D. And I was like, yes. So the funny thing, the really funny thing is, so the other correspondent actually took a picture for us, which I kind of felt bad for because I'm like, yeah, I was like, you're also somebody, and like she was like, no, I'll take the picture. I'm like, are you? Because I'm like, is that like weird? So she takes the picture. I'm like, thank you. Like, oh my gosh, go to like be snarky as fuck and like send the picture to these guys. Like, you left me, but look what happened. The picture didn't save. So I'm like, fuck. Meanwhile, Dave said like where they are, and I'm like, now I'm gonna have to go to them. I'm gonna have to tell them this happened. I don't have the picture proof. They're never gonna believe me. So I go to walk by, and like she's still standing there. So here I come again, like, I really hate to bother you, but
That's
the
my
picture
favorite part of
didn't
the
save.
story.
And they were like, no, we've got this. So the other girl, she's posing us in the light. So that she was like, oh, there's a bad glare there, this, that. And so she took a whole bunch. She's like, let's make sure they saved. Yes, they saved. And they're just super cool. So then I went over to these guys and was like, hey, this happened. She's like walking right by us. So like they got to meet up with her too. So it was like, it was so awesome. She's super awesome. So that was my BlizzCon experience. Also the food trucks, 1010,
Yes,
would
the
eat
food
at
trucks.
all of them again.
And all the hot people and the friendly people. Like my favorite person, who is our new Argentinian.
Julian?
Argentinian
friend. His name is Julian, but what is it? It's
Shinra cosplays.
yeah.
On
I
Instagram.
want to forget. I forget his name. It's
I'll drop it in the chat. Hold on.
On Instagram, it's Shinra_happens.
Yes.
Go look him up.
Nice.
He is a beautiful man. But he was like the nicest person that we met the entire time. And it just all happened on me saying, I love your costume.
Yeah.
And he just turned around and just started talking to us. And he was just like, I love the people here. They're so friendly. I never see this anywhere else but here. And like, my heart was just growing and growing and growing. Every word he was saying,
Yeah.
I was like, "You're getting me all the
Well, because he said he works for Riot Games, and he was like, "This would not like if this is like a Riot convention." He was like, "This would not be it."
Yeah.
So, yeah, he
But
was
we did
super
like a
cool.
group hug at the end, which was really sweet.
Oh, that was really. And you know what? Another cool thing. There are so many cool things about BlizzCon. One, we walked by Susie Mortimer.
We did.
She was as we were talking
After
about
opening
her.
ceremonies.
Yeah, as we were talking about her, and I was like, "Yeah, Susie's here
Mortimer.
somewhere." And like she just was like, "Oh, there she goes."
Did you guys get to say hi, or
No,
you saw her go by?
she was like
She zipped
swimming
by so fast, I was
upstream.
I'm like,
Yeah.
as she goes.
Yeah.
So
It
this
just went
was
so
right
fast.
after it was right after opening ceremonies let out. So the entire Overwatch arena is like emptying out so people can come in to watch the first round of World Cup. Everyone's basically trying to leave at the same time she's trying to go in.
Try to go back in. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But the same thing, like Erika Ishii, she passed us, and at first I like saw this really cute dress, and I was like, oh man, that dress is so cute. And then I looked up as she's walking by, and I was like, that's Erika Ishii. And like I tweeted her, and she's like, you should have stopped me. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh no.
I will say, I was so proud of you guys by day 2 because I knew that you would be running into personalities, and I know that you were super like embarrassed because you. Okay, there's one thing that I have still not yet found in my heart time to forgive you, but we'll get there.
Oh.
So, okay, first and foremost, full
I didn't want to
disclosure,
bother
as it says in
him.
the warning, yeah. As it says in the warning, actually, let me.
Do we need to update the?
No, I'm just gonna stop. Well, how do we feel about the background audio from the dungeon? Leave it on, turn it off.
It doesn't matter. It's atmospheric.
Okay,
Yeah.
then I'll leave it on.
This like super intense
I was
conversation.
gonna say we could make it less creepy. We could do the bar one.
I was gonna say I have
look up, like,
Sirenscape. I could throw in
but,
some Sirenscape.
I just have Witchwood playing right now. It's like rainy.
Hold on, here.
Like, it was kind of raining today.
Here, I'm gonna throw in some. I just got some Sirenscape stuff, and we'll talk about where I got it in a minute.
Okay.
But one of them is like friendly tavern. So
I got
Oh, wait, I
dungeon
could
decks and they were almost out.
totally swap this for something more, more fun. Anyway, going back to story time. Again, disclosure, as it says in the bottom bar, I do work for Blizzard, which means that I was also working during BlizzCon. BlizzCon is a show that is put on entirely by employees. So I'm working Friday, and I get a text message from Jenna and Mandy in a group chat that we have. And they sent me a picture of someone outside eating lunch.
on the grass, like a nice
On the grass,
picnic.
by which, if you've ever been to the Anaheim Convention Center, it's probably off, like just off from where the. Oh my god! I just blanked on the name of it. The grand reception is with the fountain off to the right.
Yeah.
Grand Plaza. There we go. That's the name of it. And they're like, I think this is Matthew Mercer, and I'm like, I mean, it could be. He wears vests and he's looking down, so I can't really tell. But you should
He
just go
wears
up and
vests.
say hi. Like, just go up and say hi. I promise you, these are like the nicest group of people. Just do it. Like, it'll be awesome.
He was eating.
He was eating, and you guys didn't want to go up and say hi, and I totally respect that you respected his time.
First off, she made me paranoid because I was like, I think that is him. And she was like, but what if it's not? Like, that doesn't look like what he wore that day. And then you made me paranoid, like, okay, I don't want to look like an idiot.
That was the thing. So we were standing the food trucks. There's so many of them that they have them in like the main area, and then these ones are like kind of off to the side, like not in the main area. And this is literally the last food truck. Like nobody else is down here, and he's got his like cute little ass plopped down in the grass eating his food. And I'm like, we're waiting in line, and I'm like, I'm behind Jenna, and like I'm looking at the menu, but I'm like,
Also wanting a piece of this dude.
yeah, I
over
was
there.
like, I'm thinking this motherfucker's Matt Mercer. And like now I'm looking at the name badge, which I happen to have this badge on right now, and it's got like a special thing around the corners. Now we knew from Adam's badge that like the Blizzard employees had a Blizzard, like, but this was different but still special. And that's what I was like, Jenna, like don't be obvious. But I'm pretty sure Matt Mercer is just like literally right there. And like she looked and she's like, I think it is. So like now here I am like totally checking my phone, like taking a picture.
I actually don't have a badge, otherwise I'll show you.
Yeah, so I took the picture to send Adam, and I was like, yo, I legit. And so we got our food, and now we're like creeping. Not like we didn't do it on purpose, but like we were sitting kind of like across from where he was and like eating and just like kept looking. Because at this point, I'm still like not 100% sure. There you go. That it was him or not, but like the more we looked, we're like, it's gotta be. But no, like I totally, and especially like this con too, or this con that we haven't talked about yet. I respect the their space. Like obviously, like if they're in a bathroom, if they're eating, like I'm not gonna be like, so,
Right.
It's cool. And the other thing too is like nobody else was bothering him, so like if he could get away with sitting there and not being bothered, I didn't want to draw attention. So there's that. I was like, I already lost a D20, but I remembered I dropped it on the floor.
Yeah, the heavy one.
The heavy one, yeah. So BlizzCon was great. We went to Disney after BlizzCon. Excuse me. So that was like Blizneyland. So that was cool.
Not to be confused with the new Blizzard world map that's releasing for Overwatch soon PM. That is a completely different fictitious environment that we have created and has no real bearing in the actual world. We just love theme parks.
I do think, though, it should have real bearing. I think it should be a thing.
I mean, Overwatch takes place in the current timeline, just really far into the future. So if we happen to have a Blizzard world that exists by then, I'm just saying, I would love that.
I'm gonna send out another little tweet
I'm
here.
sorry. I'm really sorry, you guys.
No, you're good.
And, like, my computer is just total shit right now.
It just wants to be fussy.
We're just chatting away.
It's like, wait, you're not actually playing D&D?
Roll for computer.
I mean, seriously, I feel like I've had to roll for initiative the entire time with this damn thing. And I'm pretty pissed off.
I got a 14 to roll for computer.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna roll. Is that a D20? Let me.
Sure.
Hold on. I haven't rolled these yet.
I should be doing okay based on that roll.
See, there you go.
Okay.
I haven't rolled this one yet. So let's like.
Oh.
It was a 20.
Oh!
Yeah, I don't believe you. I've seen that. That doesn't look like it was a 1. It looks like maybe it was like a 4. Oh, okay.
7?
It was a 7.
7?
Okay.
Let's see
Yeah,
if
it's not awful.
the oh god, they're so weird. Oh no, stay on the table.
Chappelle would be proud of that roll.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. You know, this one's doing even better things for me. It's a 6.
Let me get my dice out. Unless we're gonna do this.
So California was great. 10/10 would recommend, would definitely go again. Met a lot of cool people, did a lot of cool things, spent a lot of not so cool money.
Yeah.
Oh, and I started saying that one of the other super cool things that I thought Blizzard did is they had a diversity lounge, and I think you said this is the first time that they've had one. A diversity lounge.
Okay,
So,
explain this to me. I live in the middle of nowhere and I don't know these things.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll actually tank this one a little bit.
Yeah.
I was not working the Diversity Lounge this year, but I would have loved the opportunity to. It just didn't work out with scheduling. The Diversity Lounge was a location in the North Hall where gamers could go and hang out with other gamers or with other Blizzard employees who focus and are, specifically aware of what it means to have a diverse culture and diverse player base, and kind of that games are for everybody.
Oh yeah.
And that is one of our goals with Overwatch, was to create an inclusive and open environment, and representation was a side effect of inclusivity. It's by inviting people of all nationalities, backgrounds, ethnicities, genders, sexuality, orientation, all that stuff is what creates the unique blend of gamer culture. So we wanted to have a space where people could go, hang out, chill for a bit, get to meet other players, and also kind of share their journey and their story with us and what games mean to them. So it was a really cool place to just kind of hang out, get to know each other. It was a quiet area away from the con where you could actually have good conversations, and it's not, on the show floor or anything like that. And bonus, it was right across the street from Disneyland. So
and
Friday
that's what
night,
I was getting to. Yep.
Go ahead.
Cool.
Oh, I was just gonna say the really cool thing was Adam practically lives at Disney, so he knows the fireworks schedule like clockwork. But the Diversity Lounge happened to be right across from like that side where Disney is. So we went up to the Diversity Lounge as like the con started winding down Friday night. He had got done work, so we could like grab food and go. So we went up there. We got free drinks. So that's always a plus. Some guy just bought everybody drinks because he was already drunk. So all
Every
right.
time I think of that, my throat burns.
Oh yeah, it was shots of tequila.
Because it started
was-
Yeah.
with my
it was-
nose. And
Oh man, that would have been my jam. I can
He's
jam
an
on
awesome dude.
tequila.
It was not a one-time event. He also does this at
Yeah.
parties and stuff. He's a good guy.
He
He's a
seemed
friend of
like he was like a few rungs up on the ladder, so like he could afford it. But he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
also
yeah.
sweating profusely, so it like just the alcohol sweats like so bad.
I thought you were saying he was a few rungs up the ladder. I'm like, yeah, he did probably have some rungs on.
Yeah,
us,
you
right?
know what? He probably
was
was a
high.
few. He
Yeah,
was.
like he did the drunk thing where when you come over to say hi, you just put your arm around the person.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, he came up. We were sitting around talking, and like all of a sudden, like somebody's just like, "Hey, how's it going? What's up, sweetie?" And I'm like, "Hi, guy. I don't know." Like, all right. But so anyway,
I'm thirsty.
yeah, and he came over with all the drinks. He was like, "Shots for everybody, bartender." And there wasn't. I would say there was probably like maybe 20 people up there. There wasn't that many people. Like I
No,
think
it was like between 20 and 30 probably. Yeah.
yeah, because it was like off to the side. But anyway, so 9:30 rolls around. That's when the fireworks are. So like here we got to like all line up like on the balcony and like have our free drinks and watch the fireworks for like the 26 minutes, 24 minutes. Correct me if I'm
It's
wrong.
24 minutes, but no one actually, times the show or anything. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
Adam.
it was just like it was a great way to end like the first day of the con. Like all these really cool people, like everybody being so like open and like supportive of each other. Like just like I said before, like the whole family atmosphere and that like everybody was like cool with anything and I don't know. It was just great. And then the fireworks were really pretty. So
Yeah.
and then we went to Disney. We got to see them again. So it's all good.
You got to see them with the music and everything.
Yeah.
The way that
Not the Adam narration and
Yeah. Where I'm the one who's just singing very like quietly to myself.
yeah. So it was great.
Wishes.
When we did the Roger
Make
Rabbit
your
ride
dreams
and Adam's
come
like turning
true.
our car around in your face with that crazy ass face.
Oh we had a lot of fun in Disney. It's Disney. We had some fun that maybe we should have mentioned on camera.
What?
Like
Okay.
Mr. Toad.
Oh,
Oh.
But no, like
What did you do?
I wasn't gonna mention that.
they'll be after the off-air discussions.
That's the after dark version.
Yeah, D&Discussion after dark. But no, we had, since there was 3 of us, a lot of the rides were like 2 per, so we had to like keep switching off. So the one ride, I think it was the Haunted Mansion, Adam was in his own little car, and every time like we would kind of pass each other or like turn.
Oh, so you'd like wave at each other?
No. I thought like, oh, we'll wave. He was like, every time.
Like, it was creepy, like,
Yeah, and it's like a lot of black light, so his like teeth were just glowing. And like at one point we were like kind of across each other for a long time, and like he was just unblinking. He was just like so it was creepy, like on purpose, but like it was creepy. So then when we went on the Roger Rabbit ride, those two,
Disney?
yeah, this
Yeah.
is Disney. They were in the car together, and now this is when you get to spin it, like whichever way.
Yeah.
So I was in the car by myself, so I was purposely spinning it, so I was always trying to face them, and I did the same thing. I was just like the whole time, unblinking. It creeped Jenna out.
It was great.
It was fantastic.
Terrible.
But yeah, so
Because we were going by so fast, and your eyes were just like, ah.
well, yeah, and that was it. Because like I'd be going this way, and then they would turn the other way, and I'd be like, ah! Like trying to get them. And then, oh my God, we almost all peed ourselves on the teacups because we were going so fast. Jenna has video.
It's like all jumpy, but it's so funny.
And like we're just, oh God, I was crying just like thinking about it. Like it was Disney. It was such a fun, like California, like everything was just so fucking fun. So definitely gonna go back. I'm actually planning to go back in January for the Overwatch League. Their first.
Are you actually
opening
gonna come out for that?
I'm like 90% sure. I already put in a leave slip, because I figured if it falls through, I could be like, just kidding, I can work.
Okay.
But I
For
found
reference, I'm not even going to the opening week of Overwatch because I will be working
you'll be
during
working.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
it's lame, I'm just gonna show up at your work and be like, "This is lame. I'm gonna hang out
Okay.
here instead."
Get in, we're going over.
Yeah, we're going
For somebody
Overwatching.
who doesn't play online games or play Overwatch.
That is okay.
So what is this?
So that you know the game though, Overwatch, like you've heard of it, like Blizzard. Okay. So.
I just don't play it.
You
So I
don't
know what
play
this
it.
league is.
All the league is, it's just they've now made it like a professional esports where, for example,
Is that BlizzCon? The South Korea and USA and
that
France
was just
and all
the
them?
World Cup.
So let me
To the atom.
Yeah. let me do my thing. All right, so there are currently tons of esports competitions that are kind of modeled after an esports setup that we've done, where for Overwatch we have something called the Overwatch World Cup. This is a tournament hosted by Blizzard where some of the top players from each country participate throughout the year and eventually end up at BlizzCon to essentially do what we consider the Olympics of,
Blizzard.
Right. So it's, the top nations in the world coming together to compete and play for money and fame and fortune kind of thing. We are working on a separate initiative that is called the Overwatch League. The Overwatch League is modeled after your traditional sports leagues like the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, where cities can buy franchises. So, for example, the first 12 teams are London, New York, Philadelphia, Boston, Houston, Dallas. Florida has a joint team between Miami and Orlando. There's 2 teams for Los Angeles, the San Francisco team, Shanghai, China, and Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah.
So,
Of course.
all of them.
Seoul has one.
Oh, yeah. No,
Oh.
South Korea is the home of esports. There's no way they would have started a competition. But each of these teams in the league have a franchise, so they're going to have a stadium, they're going to have, merch, they're going to have tickets that they can sell to people to see their games, like all this kind of stuff. So we're working really closely to create and foster this environment of what traditional sports are and bring a new wave of sports entertainment into that space.
Wow.
So there's going to be seasons and a training combine and drafting,
Yep.
all this sorts
Wow.
of crazy stuff that I'm all learning about because I know nothing about sports.
Oh, see,
Sports,
okay.
sports.
Sport ball.
Got some sports. Okay, I'm not like crazy about it, but I know college basketball. Okay, so that's like my thing, and I was huge into baseball when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you how all of that works.
Well, that's I have tuned out because then I thought like I really wanted more of my Chinese food. Did you say who bought the Philadelphia team?
Yeah,
I did not. So for anyone that knows, me, Jenna, Mandy, we're the Philly team. Like Philly's everything. The Philadelphia team is owned by the Philadelphia Flyers. Same person who owns the Philadelphia Flyers. So they are, being well represented in the traditional sports scene. The Philly Fusion, their colors are orange and, white,
Orange,
black,
white, and black.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I'm happy. I can't wait to see them start playing.
Yeah, so definitely some cool shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm trying to go back out for that. Because I figured like with work, I'll be working like 60, 70-hour weeks probably from like here on out until the new year. So I'll have like quite a chunk of change. So I'm like, I might go check California out again. So we'll see.
I'm just waiting for you to transfer to a post office out here.
I had looked at it before. I did, but then like I got involved with like a LARP and like I start putting more roots down here because at the time I was like, Adam's gone, I have nothing. So it was like 5 years ago. But yeah, no. So it'd be cool. But if I can keep getting airfare cheap enough, like it's totally
Yeah.
doable to just like go out for a
And
while.
remember, we're in good with your aunt and uncle. So.
Yeah, now that I have a place to stay.
Stay there now.
So that's cool.
There's a discussion in this BlizzCon group that I'm in that somebody added me to, and people were actually wondering, just if you've been to a lot of conventions, did you smell any bad body odor at BlizzCon?
I have to say,
I'm like, you know what? I didn't smell anybody.
I didn't smell anybody. There was one guy
Good
that
to know.
crop dusted, but other than that, I no complaints. Like everybody
Somebody
was fine.
said during Muse, the entire back section smelled the high oven.
Maybe it was that person that smelled.
I'm sorry. Ooh. That is.
Somebody said with the goodie bag, can we donate like $5 to get unisex unscented deodorant to put in the goodie bag?
I want to say it wasn't at BlizzCon, but there was a convention where Old Spice was a sponsor, and they basically like put deodorant in the goodie bags for everyone that year.
That's awesome.
It wasn't at BlizzCon. I don't remember. It might have been like one of the PAXs or something, but I do remember that being a thing.
But the problem when you do that is people think
That's
like,
genius.
oh, I still don't need to bathe. I just need to douse myself in this.
Yeah.
So you get
Right.
a mix of BO and.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
How was PAXU?
I'm just sorry, we're gonna segue into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't heard that much yet. I want
I
to hear
slammed
it.
a back truck through it, so I'm sorry for the bad
Well,
segue.
if you look, it's like gonna be all tangled up and all. I'm still wearing my lanyard because I literally had just gotten off the train, got home, I stopped and got Chinese, loaded up all the stream stuff, and it was like, where everybody
I was
at?
actually gonna say, like, if you were late, did you want me to take over the streaming for the day?
No, I timed it today to like make sure I was back. So yeah, I'm still wearing my jacket. I still got my beanie on. I'm still wearing my goddamn lanyard. So PAXU. So a lot of people know PAX. Obviously, there's PAX East, PAX West, PAX South, PAX Australia. They decided to do Unplugged this year and to focus just on like tabletop and board games because at all the regional ones, they said these areas are expanding. So they're like, people obviously are interested in this. So they had it in Philly, which is great since we live there. So we got to go. On Friday, excuse me, I'm gonna burp. We got to meet Charlie. So wherever she is, rest in peace, Charlie.
Yeah, I'm still trying to go.
No, she got sick, so I'm thinking she's probably just like
Yeah, I'm not.
That
NyQuil'd out. But yeah, so now we're coming fresh off of BlizzCon. Like I've gone to a few smaller cons like Geek Fest and stuff in the area, but the only large con that I'd been to prior to BlizzCon was a Wizard World when I was like 12, 13. So like my con experience is like down here. So then going from BlizzCon to now this board game convention, no idea, like what to expect. So Jenna and I, we got there pretty much right when it opened on Friday, and there was like the map for one. So props on the back of the lanyard. I don't know how well it's gonna show. Oh yeah, there's like a map and it tells you where things are. That's
such a good idea.
Great idea. Terrible map. Like it didn't so there were definitely some hiccups as far as that.
Yeah, our friend Angela was there too.
Yeah,
Adam was there too, and
Yep.
she even said, "This is stupid."
She was like, "This great idea, horrible execution." But so we decided it's 3 days, so we're gonna start just like on the far right side of the expo hall. We're gonna go up and down every aisle, see what there is to see. And then we'll go back, play games. Then we'll go back and buy what we like, because there's just so much. So they had all of the exhibitors, and like they all pretty much had like a little demo area there that they could like show you the game. But then to actually like some of them had places set up, but for the most part there was a separate place that had to like actually play the game like fully. So like half of the expo hall, like that's all that. the other half was just like lines of tables, all free play. So if you bought a game, or they actually had really cool, it was like a game library that you just had to show your badge. They wrote down your name and your information, and you could rent a game from them for the day, and then you could go find an open table and try a game out. So maybe it was
that's
a game,
really cool.
Yeah, like
I saw that on Jared's stream today.
Yeah,
he showed that, and I was like, that is the coolest idea.
So say there's a game you've really been wanting to play, but it's like some of these games are expensive, like 60, 70 upwards dollars, like especially if they have miniatures. So it might be an expensive game that you don't really want to put the money out until you try it. You could do that. Or it's a new game that you just saw and looked cool at one of these tables. Before you buy it, you could do that. And it was great because they also had little cones on the table. So like, say I'm playing a game, me and my friends, and it's like a 6-player game and we only have 4 people. They had cones that you could put up, like looking for people. So like as you're walking through, you could be like, oh, they're playing this game. Let me jump in. So
That's so cool.
Yeah. They also had an app too. So you could look on there to see like how long the lines were for different things. People could put if they were meeting up somewhere, I'm meeting to play this game, or we need a few more people for this. I'm going to grab food. Anybody want to go? Like, so they really tried to like make it a good community thing. And
That's
then,
awesome.
Past that, then they had all the tournament tables. So you could sign up if you wanted to do a tournament. They had the main stage back there, which is where...
like, it was all tucked away.
Yeah, the main stage was tucked away, which I didn't really like.
You had to go all the way into a back corner?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, when you walked in, like, we came in all the way on, like, the far right. It was,
Right.
like, on the far
All
left
the way. And
corner,
in the
like,
back.
yeah. And they had black curtains, like, covering it. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I got to see that.
Like,
On
nobody's
the
gonna know
stream.
it's back there.
And it was like way out of the way, and like there
was hardly
the stream,
anybody
it didn't
in
seem like
seats
there
when
was
I
even
trying to watch the
signs.
stream.
Yeah, well, that's where DCA, Dice Camera Action, Acquisitions Inc., and C Team all did their shows. And so I think DCA was the first ones that did anything on that stage. And if you look, like, there wasn't a whole lot of people in the audience, and it was mainly
they couldn't
because...
find it.
And that was it. A lot of people couldn't even find the theater.
Yeah.
But I went specifically for DCA, but then I ended up coming home to watch it in my pajamas. So, but anyway, so like I think there are definitely things that could have been done better. We had a problem. They had like autograph sessions. Critical Role. I did want to go. This goes out like I could kind of care less. Not that I could care less about them, but like I wasn't like, oh my god, I gotta see, but I wanted to go and find Matt Mercer and tell him how much he means to Adam and his DMing style. So I was gonna work.
That's why it pissed me off.
I was gonna work my charisma a bit.
There is.
I think it wore off already, Mandy. It was like done.
Yeah, I think
Matt
one of the
Mercer,
things-
if you're watching, he loves you.
Bless
He
you.
looks up to
Yeah,
you.
bless you. How did you find
Yeah.
this?
Oh, look at him, you're blushing.
Aw.
So, a couple different things on this. One, I really like that our specific group of players here has such a good background of different D&D shows, because there's a lot of them out there now.
I think we all watch something different. To be
We
honest.
do, which I think is awesome. Like, I fell in.
the C team all the time.
Yeah. So like I fell into D&D. We tried to play in high school, and that worked a couple times. And when I say worked a couple times, like we would get together and we would not have a dungeon. It would just be, hey, here's a party versus like 5 orcs. What do you want to do? And it was always like manipulating the dice. Hey, I want to run up and do a leaping fly off of this wall and twist in the air and take my axe and just cleave through this dude's head immediately and like do something really cool and then land in superhero pose. And I'm like, you know what, for sake of fun, you absolutely can do that. Let's roll some athletics checks. Let's roll some damage. Let's see if we can do a coup de grace on this guy. Why not? And those were our games. So I would say that our experience in high school was slightly limited. I didn't get back into it until, working at Blizzard. You have a bunch of nerd culture there, and people are like, oh, have you heard of roll? That is how
your picture of like the little Lego barbarian, was that from your game?
Yeah, that was from my other game that I'm in that I'm actually a player in. Yeah.
Like, I want the skeleton horse that's in the background.
That was actually a hellhound. Thank you very much.
The skeleton horse.
That's cute. Adorable.
Yeah, we have an interesting mix of actual D&D miniatures and then like Lego pieces. Great.
Yeah,
Nice.
Legos, we should do that.
I'll tell you a thing about miniatures in a minute then.
Yeah. But I like that we basically came
yeah.
to it through different backgrounds. So Critical Role was my way into Dungeons and Dragons again, and it really taught me that being a dungeon master is so much more than just being an advocate for the rules and following, the pre-written adventures exactly as they're meant to be done. And it really is, you tell a story, you give that story to your players, and then the players get creative and throw things back at you that you didn't expect. And it's that constant exchange of ideas and storytelling that creates these cool moments. And it really does bring your party closer together when you focus on those elements instead of, well, if you want to do this thing, here's the checks you need to do it.
Yeah, just roll.
Sometimes it's good just for the merit of the story, and other times it's good for character development. And so I will say one of the hardest things about working where I work is we had a work event where several voice actors from Overwatch were there doing a post-BlizzCon wrap-up with a bunch of people, and we had them on site, Matt included, and it's really, you got to remember your professionalism when it's like they're here to relax, they're not here to be mobbed by the entire company, they're a superhero to all of us. Let them chill, let them relax and do their thing. And
oddly enough, that was the same day that me and Jenna took our Blizzard tour. And it was like, oh, look, they're all right there.
I saw the tent and I'm like, I'm tempted, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Now, with that said, there are opportunities that come up. Like, I've gotten to meet Darren DePaul, sweetest guy, I think I've ever met anywhere. So those opportunities do come along, but I would feel much more comfortable approaching someone like Matt at a convention where he's expecting it versus ambushing someone at work being like, hey, I know you're totally relaxing and having a good time, but sign my DM book, please.
Yeah, please sign. Well, so
please sign my DMG.
My thought was because they're cool people. Like, it'd be cool to have their autograph.
They are.
But I had figured, I'm like, oh, if we can go and like have a minute to say something, I'm gonna be like, hey, our DM is like really inspired by your style. Like, that's kind of what he bases his style off of, and he happens to work at Blizzard. Like, so if you're on campus and you happen to go by Building 4, drop a thing, because
hi.
I would be a broken human that day. I would
fall back in your
well, because I would figure like it would be a shot in the dark, but at the same time, he seems like a cool enough guy that like at one point would be like, oh, maybe I will go through,
Yeah.
So their signing was at 5:30. At like 3:15, they had a queue hall, which is where the signings were, and like where they would form the lines for certain things, and then kind of like ferry you from the queue hall to the. So around 3:15, we went in to like see what the situation was gonna be. And there's like some people like lining up, and I said to one of the enforcers, like the volunteers, I said, "Oh, is this the line for Critical Role?" And she's like, well, people think they're in line. She's like, we haven't started the line yet. We're going to start it at 3:30. And I was like, all right. We were like, cool. We'll come back in a couple minutes because like we had to use the bathroom or whatever. So like we left, came back at 3:32, 2 whole minutes after they started forming the line. Line was capped. Like the signing wasn't until 5:30, capped the line at 3:32. And I'm like, so, like, it sucked. Like, there's obviously people there that, like, really fucking love them. So, like, that's great on them. And I have to say, because the signings were for 2 hours, so it was, like, 5:30 to 7:30. Later, when I was waiting with Charlie for her ride to come, we were sitting in that hall just chatting. And so you could, like, see they're sitting at the table and the line's going through. And it was, they were taking their time with every person that came up. Yeah. So I'm like, they capped the line maybe prematurely, and nowhere did it also say like, oh, the lines are going to start forming 2 hours beforehand. Like that information wasn't put anywhere, and a lot of people were irked by that.
Yeah, like they told us the line was capped, and as we were walking away, there were people walking up like, "Why are you walking away? What's going on?"
Yeah, so like that information wasn't posted anywhere. It wasn't on the app, the website. But yeah,
I think they'll just take all this information and try to do better next year.
Yeah, because again, they've obviously, like PAX, they put on conventions every year, but this is the first time they did this type. But yeah, so they definitely were taking their time though with everybody. So I'm like, the people that did get in, got to like really experience, like got to talk to their people, and whatnot. So probably the most important things that happened this weekend.
Is that Poe just like
No, this would never be Poe. This
that's Jenny.
situation.
That's Jenny.
No, Poe is. You can't see because it's dark. No. So if you see
the glittery eyes.
hold on, if you see my coffee table here, he's literally like right under the coffee table off frame.
No, he's under there.
So
Okay.
our goal at BlizzCon was to meet Anna because she was there and we love her. Our goal this time, we had to meet Holly.
Especially because you had a present for her. I'm like, I'm gonna make that happen.
Yeah, so I had made her a present for her birthday. Didn't send it right away because even though it was ready for her birthday, because I decided to also make Ross something for his birthday. Her claws are stuck in my shirt. So I held up to make a thing for Ross, and then like I just never sent them because I never knew what to write. Like I would start writing it and I'd be like, no words, like I can't even put into words like what I would want to say. So I was gonna bring it to California, thinking like if she was at BlizzCon, which she didn't because she was at PAX Australia. So I was like, she's gonna be here, like let me bring it. If I happen to bump into her, great. If not, I'll probably cry for a long time. So we pretty much would walk the hall a bit and decided to go get food. Oh, there she goes. Cool. Ruining my jacket. This is my baby girl, y'all. She likes her butt scratched. I haven't been home. I was gone for BlizzCon and then I was gone all weekend because of PAX, so she misses me. So, yeah, so we went to get food, and as we were looking for a table, I happened to actually see Satine Phoenix. And then like I look next to her. Are you laughing at my cat?
No, like we were walking up.
Oh, you're laughing at.
Talking about, but I looked up and I'm like,
I know that hair.
Color.
Yeah.
I know that haircut.
So it was like
slightly turned, and I was like,
I saw Satine first, and she was furthest away, and then I noticed right next to her, talking to her, was Anna, and then and then closer even more was Jared, and then right in front of him was Holly. Like they were all just. But I saw Satine first, and it was like my vision was like, and then I was like, oh shit, and I was like, so now I have a water bottle in one hand, I have a sandwich in the other hand, and I'm like I wasn't ready yet, like.
Yeah, it's like, give me your food and the water.
Yeah, so
this also happened within like you guys being there for maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, we had only been.
We were not there for that long.
We like.
I'm hungry. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't really get to eat. Why don't we grab food? We're waiting for Charlie to show up, so we're like, we don't want to do too much without her. So yeah, so I was like, hi, like didn't even introduce ourselves, by the way. Like, cause it was
really?
just yeah. So I was like,
Okay.
hi. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we already ran into you. Blah blah blah. I was like, I actually made you something for your birthday, like the whole thing. And she's like, what, really? So like Jenna's like a mom, like here, give me everything. So like I pull out the Rowlet dice bag, and she's like, it's a Rowlet dice bag, like in her holliness. And she was like, she's like, it's perfect because I love Rowlet and I like armor and like it's chainmail, but D&D and dice. And like, so this is all going down. And like Anna and Satine were talking, so like we didn't want to bother them. And then poor Jared is just standing there like, nobody wants to talk to Jared. So
poor sad boy.
Yeah, so I was like, can we grab a quick picture? And I kept apologizing for having my food. Like, I don't know why. Like, I was super apologetic that like I was in the middle of almost eating.
I'm sorry, I'm human and require sustenance.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm usually a very cool, calm cucumber, and like I just was like the most apologetic being because I couldn't believe that we finally got to see Holly in person in the flesh. So I was like, can we get a quick selfie? And Jared's like, oh, do you want me to take the picture? Now, flashback to what we were just saying about how the other correspondent at BlizzCon did the same thing, and I felt horrible. I'm like, I don't really know who she is, but I know that she's somebody, and like, I'm not going to ask her to take the picture. But she volunteered, and I was like, what? I'm like, just because I didn't make you anything, Jarrett, doesn't mean I don't want you in the picture. So I was like, good, like everybody get in here. So we got a picture of me, Jenna, Holly, and Jarrett. And like I was like, oh, thank
Put
you.
the picture up.
Yeah. I'm.
Oh my god! When you sent this on our Twitter, I actually cried.
Oh
I tell you, I know it sounds weird and it doesn't make sense, but like she really means a lot to me, and I can't believe it. I've never met her before, you know, but like I identify so much with everything that she's lived
and
through.
that's it. Like
She and I have lived very similar lives and dealt with a lot of the same shit.
the thing about her. Yeah, here we go. Okay. There we go. I'll put that right in the center for the world to see.
No.
And she's just
It works. So the
I love it.
yeah, I have to say it's a really good picture of all of us, I believe.
Yay!
And then you can see the Rowlet dice bag too in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, Adrian. Like the thing about her, like, and me and Charlie actually talked about this a bit yesterday about like where people felt like she was more excited. Like she obviously really wanted to meet Holly, but she was more excited to meet Anna because like Anna means more to her. So it's like like everything that Holly's gone through, like she's had a tough life and like she's very open about that. And the fact that she's so open about those things, like to me, she is such the embodiment. She shows that you can be fragile, but also strong at the same time. Like you don't have to always be like a beacon of strength. Like you could be a human too. Like she just, I think she does
like
that
her character.
like she just embodies that so well. And then everything she's done for the community, whether it's like D&D, cosplay, game, like the work she does for the birds, like she is like 10/10 all around, like best human, like is the best way I could. So I definitely like I wanted to meet her so bad. Like, and again, I took months trying to write like a card to send to be like but I couldn't put that into words. So again, like all this goes down, we sit, like I'm trying to eat my food and like at this point my hands are shaking. And again, like this is not me. Like I am friends with people that are here. And like Jenna saw, like I'm trying to eat my sandwich and like my hand was shaking. And I'm like, I was so hungry, but I couldn't eat now. And that's when I was like sending you guys the pictures. I was like, oh, like it already happened.
And you're like,
I'm so excited for all the stuff that you got to do.
Yeah, I wish you could have been with us for like all of it. Like we should just do everything together.
I want, like as soon as I'm able, I'm there.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
I can't.
Well, and it was then when we were sitting at the table and I was sending you guys the pictures, I was like, we didn't even say who we were.
Yeah.
Like, didn't like, hi, my name is what my name, like, it was just like.
Yeah, I mean, and Holly's come to our stream before.
Yeah, so I was like, shit, because when I did meet Anna and I said like, oh, da-da-da, she was like, yeah, I've been to your stream. I'm like, you have been to our stream. So then when we were walking, now we were going to meet Charlie. So when we were walking downstairs, now they were all kind of sitting around. Danny was there, Danny Hartel, who did the costumes for the C team were beautiful. We'll get into that. And actually, now that I think about it was before this that we saw Kate, right?
Yeah, it was Friday because we
saw Kate and then we went up to get food. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, I don't know if you know who that is, but that's Kate from the C team. And you're like, go say hi. And I'm like, what?
She was like,
she's looking for something, and I'm like,
Jenna's like, oh, like Jenna's
like,
elbowing me.
hi.
She's like, do you know who that is? I was like, I don't. And she was like, that's Kate for the C team. Actually, you didn't even say Kate. You said that's Rosie Beestinger for the C team.
I had like 7 brain farts that day.
Yeah. So I said, I'm like, I don't watch the C team. I don't follow it, but I follow Danny, who made all their costumes. So I don't know Kate, but I've heard of Rosie Beestinger. So, and she's just like walking by herself, like looking up and down the aisles, like looking for something.
I'm like, I don't know if I want to bug her or not. If she looks like she's looking for
something. So yeah, she's like, I can't. And so like as she walked by, here I am, like, Mom, I got Jenna by the elbow. I was like, oh, excuse me. And I'm like, she's a big fan of the C team and this, and she's like, oh, hi, can I have a hug? Like,
Yeah.
and she was so freaking cool. So we talked to her for a little bit. She loved my jacket.
Yeah. Everybody loved your jacket.
Everybody, yeah, my jacket was the hero of PAXU. But no, so we did get to talk to her for a bit, and then I was like, oh, she's really cool. And then we go upstairs and then we run into those guys. But yeah, so then we got Charlie, and then we had gone back to the expo hall, and at this point, Kate and Amy Falcone, who plays Walnut on the C team, were hanging out like at the back towards the merch. And so like as we're walking up to, like, we're going down one aisle, up one aisle.
And I had turned to Charlie. I'm like, do you see them? She's like, yeah, I see them. And then she started doing the shaking that Mandy was doing. And I'm like,
and I was like,
we can go up there if you want.
because at this point, Mandy...
Okay, we'll do that. And I had my hands on her the whole time. Like, it's okay.
Because once Mandy met Holly, Mandy didn't have to go to the con anymore. Like, Mandy's job was done. Like, the rest of the con...
Technically,
I'm good.
because you still had presents for Danny.
Yeah, I still had something for Anna and Danny. But so I'm like, all right, I got to meet my idol. Let me introduce you to yours. So now we had just seen Kate not too long ago. So I walked up and they were talking. I was like, hey, I was like, our friend just got here. Yeah. And like, so we hung out with them for a bit, like 10 minutes, just bullshitting. And, like, I got their pictures.
Like, what they say? Like, what do you recommend here? Like, have you seen any good games?
Yeah, they're asking about the games, any good games, what there was to do in Philly, like, let me see if I
was
got
like,
this
I just
picture
came
handy.
from the Sirenscape booth, and they're like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's like background music and stuff, and like, I had the pamphlet in my hand, they're like, what is it?
Oh, cool.
I'm crying around looking at it, I'm like, it's mommy.
Well, and I said to him, and again, like, here's me, like, I'm not going to be one of those people who are like, oh my god, I love your stuff. I'm like, yeah, I don't watch it, but that's, I told him, like, so Sirenscape is a super cool thing. Everybody should check it out. Siren is SYRIN, Scape, SCAPE, if somebody can drop a link in the chat. But they do the like background music that you could use for your D&D stuff. And Danny actually uses it on her streams. Where is this picture?
There we go. I was like, where's
yeah, so they had a little booth so you could get like more free sound sets. Like you get a couple free when you first you download it, but then it's like a couple bucks maybe for another one. So like it'd be like a friendly tavern, a bar brawl, goblins. So I told him, I was like, yeah, I knew of it because I watched Danny's streams, like her making the costumes. And then we just all kind of bullshitted about how great their costumes were gonna be. So yeah, we were just like wheeling and dealing. We were just making all kinds of friends.
And unfortunately, I was sick yesterday and today. I'm kind of getting over it though, thankfully. But
trying to find this picture so I can put it up.
I was watching the Twitch stream, and the only thought in my head was, I know that Chris's character could throw straw, like he's all blue, and I'm like, I wonder if he's gonna actually paint his whole body blue, and he did.
And he did.
He did. It was beautiful.
So I'm trying to think.
But I'm happy with Dinar with his giant dragonborn head. I'm like, ah! I can't even scream.
I saw, like, I didn't get to see that stream. Like when Jared was doing like just walking around, he did walk up to them. So like I saw that. So I saw the giant dragon head.
Let me see.
I've never seen any C team stuff, so like I don't know the characters.
Well, I did watch C Team today, even though like I never really watched. Well, I can't even say never really watched. I never watched it before.
It was during the Waffle Crew brunch, so I was like, which one are you gonna do? Like, you don't have to watch the C Team if you don't want to. Like,
well, I was interested though. Oops. There we go.
There it is.
Throw this up. How do I? There we go. I want it to center it.
We all had like the same weird color scheme.
I thought that when I took the picture too. I was like, wow, there's like a common color theme here.
I had to look at it on my phone because
it
doesn't
show dance like that superhero stance with the legs all stretched out.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, so
face.
What
She was
else?
so happy.
Yeah, and that was cool. Like I felt like I was making dreams come true. My dreams
Yeah.
came true. Now your dreams can come true.
Yay!
Jenna,
Yeah.
you're such a teeny human.
Oh, Jenna's so tiny.
You're so little.
I'm 5'2".
Oh my God. You're
Put it-
so.
Put it this way, I don't know if you realized, but in the picture with Holly and Jarrett, Jenna had to stand in the front because she was the shortest.
Well,
Compared
also,
to Holly.
I had to crouch down because you were trying to angle it a
Oh,
certain
yeah.
way. What if I crouched down a little bit and then I fit in?
Well, I guess between you and Jarrett and Holly, it'd be like, you know, like huge difference.
I probably should have been like, here, Jarrett, you have long, gangly arms. Can you please take the picture? And that was something too, because my hand was shaking, and I was trying to keep my hand steady when I did it. Like, but yeah, so Friday was like a good start, like already.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
I wish that you had gotten to meet Chris Perkins.
I know. I was
also
looking
wish
for
I
him
got
too.
to-
We were in the middle of whatever that wolf game was. I forget what that is.
One Night Werewolf?
No, it was called like Werewords.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like you were like somebody would be the mayor, and they knew the secret word to get rid of the werewolf.
Yeah.
And okay, hold up. I gotta talk about that game first off because
We can talk about the game later.
I forget.
When we talk about all the games.
Charlie was the mayor first, and she had like post office was her secret word.
Yeah.
And somebody had figured it out like before the timer ran out. Mandy's secret word was the New England Patriots.
Sure. How
And
the
she
game
said
works.
This was
Hold on.
This was a profession that you were leading us to believe it was like a lord or a king or
No,
a queen.
you guys took
Not
it
a
wrong.
football team.
The whole game is the mayor knows the secret word, but the mayor can't talk. The mayor gets
Yeah.
yes, no, and maybe tokens, and everybody, you have 4 minutes to ask yes or no questions, and the mayor gives you a token based on the answer.
Okay.
2 other people know the word: the seer, who is going to be trying to ask questions that lead to the answer without being too obvious, and then the werewolf, who's going to want to ask questions that lead away from it without being too obvious.
And you don't know which is which.
And you don't know who the only role you know is who the mayor is.
The mayor. Okay.
So the first game, Charlie was the mayor and I was the seer. So I'm trying to lead. Now I work for the post office, so I thought it was really fucking funny. So I'm trying to like ask the questions to lead people to the post office without being too obvious, because then at the end, if the werewolf guesses who the seer was, the werewolf wins. So then in my turn, I ended up being both the mayor and the seer. So there was nobody to help Mandy lead the questions.
Is that intended? Like, is that supposed to happen?
So, well, the mayor gets a second secret role. The mayor could also be the werewolf. Or it could, or he could just be the like another villager. So I happened to also be the seer, so there was nobody else to ask leading questions. So the very first question they asked me was, is it a person? So first I start putting a yes token, and then I'm like, well, it's not a person, it's people. So I took it back and gave a maybe token. And from that point, it just went downhill, because then somebody asked if it was a title. And in my head, like, yeah, it's a title, New England Patriots.
Right.
They took it as a title, like president, ambassador. And then they asked, like, is it royalty? I'm like, no. And then they said something about, if it, like, something about America, like, is it an American thing or not? Like, and I was like, well, yeah, New England, like, so it just got, it got real bad. Yeah. So it was a fun game.
The best part for me was, like, we were in the middle of, I think, the first round.
Yeah.
And I looked up, and Ryan Hartman, who plays Dinar Blitzen on the C team, is just standing right there looking around like he didn't know what to do. And I grabbed Charlie, and I'm just like, look. And she's like, what? And I'm like, I know.
Because we're, like, in the middle of the game.
Run over there.
Like, hold on, werewolf. I got something to do.
Like, I miss Ryan.
Mayor's got some business to tend
Some
to.
business. So yeah,
like
That
death
was
card
pretty
thing
funny, though.
what
that
happened?
y'all got? The like y'all did some card game.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, I'll
you
get
talked
into
about-
I'll get into all the games. We're still covering
Yeah,
who
the
we
game
met.
that jinxed me.
So that was Friday. So Friday we met Holly and Jarrett and Amy and Kate. We walked by Anna, Danny, Satine quite a few times, but we didn't stop them because they were like busy talking and stuff. Ryan walked by. Who else did we see? And that's it. Like you're just walking around and you're like, oh shit, that sounds like, and then you can just kind of like.
It was nice because usually when you go to a convention, they have like security or something walking around and like, nobody bugs them. It was nice that they could just walk around and do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
And if people came up to them, they're just like, yeah, hi.
You know
how are
who
you?"
couldn't walk around and do what he wanted? Matt Mercer. They pretty much had to like shuttle him in and shuttle him out, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've had similar
Poor,
experiences with BlizzCon where
Possibly
it's like,
exhausted man.
You know what,
since
though?
BlizzCon.
Like
okay.
I feel like if he just cut his hair, he wouldn't be as attractive, and then he wouldn't get mobbed as much.
Okay.
I was gonna say he wouldn't be as recognizable. But
Yeah,
okay.
but
He
let's put
could
him in a
put a bald cap
disguise.
on and a wig, and you wouldn't have to.
I will say
don't know who Matt Mercer is.
he is the
Well,
dungeon master for Critical Role. He's also a voice actor for a bunch of Blizzard stuff and a bunch of other things in general. He's done anime and other video
Oh yeah,
games.
he's done so
He's a
many.
very established voice actor, but he's also super kind and genuine and just a nice dude. So
Yeah.
yeah, that
This,
one.
This.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes, him. Yeah.
Are you sitting there like looking it up on your phone? Like this guy?
Are you serious? You think this guy's attractive?
Oh my
This
god.
dude.
Adrian, don't shit talk Matt Mercer on our stream. We'll lose all of our viewers.
Like, my God, this man is beautiful. Look at his dark, brooding eyes. Wow. Break me off a piece. Is that better?
Yes.
That works.
Okay. I mean, that was I guess a bad picture.
I have to say, I think
Man.
I do think he's good looking and attractive, but like I wouldn't start a mob over him.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, but like I said,
safety from the mob, and it's just like a broom closet.
I mean, computer. So so I don't know the games, and I haven't seen Critical Role, and I'm a
Right.
loser. So like,
gotta watch more. Gotta be less of a loser and watch more D&D. God.
I will say,
I'm a loser in this world because I don't watch enough D&D.
if you ever decide that you want to go down the Critical Role rabbit hole, I will gladly
Show you the
indoctrinate
way.
you.
Okay,
Um,
like world, we're about to have. I homeschool and I'm a loser. I'm seriously like a
stop.
dork. To any viewers that I'm boring. I have a boring life. I don't work and I homeschool my kids. So so I have the time. I just need direction.
Yeah,
on which way to go.
I will gladly get you started. Critical Role is over 100 episodes long. Each episode is roughly 4 hours on average.
That's a lot.
So
Okay.
it's been released as a podcast. I've been listening to it while I've been driving, but I've been watching episodes on Project Alpha every Thursday night for
Wait,
at least a year at this
it
point.
has the dude that was in Magic Mike who plays the Dragonborn.
Oh, that's Force
Joe
Gray.
Manganiello?
Yeah, that's
Wait.
another
Okay.
show.
Joe Manganiello's been on.
Also,
Oh yeah, he
D&D.
was on Critical Role, right?
Yeah, he's been on Critical Role. He plays Arcan.
And now he's in Force Gray.
Yeah,
Joe Magliano.
Magazine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Manganiello.
Hour.
He's actually, I think also, isn't Dylan, it's Dylan Sprouse, right? Not the other one? Or is it Cole?
It's
One of them's
Dylan
on that
Sprouse and
Riverdale
Force
show.
Gray.
Yeah, he's on Force Gray too.
I do know that Cole Sprouse is on Riverdale. I've never seen Riverdale. I just heard this talked about once, and so I know that.
I want to watch it.
Well-
Just because I'm like, I grew up with the comics, and I'm like,
It is a
I don't think that they have
CW
anything
drama.
really to do with one another.
Because like I I grew up with the Betty comics, so I'm like,
It is
oh,
not
she's
the
a
comics
blonde-haired
at
girl, but,
all.
like, she was adorable, and I loved her, and now they a complete like skank or whatever. I'm like, I can't forgive this. I
Yeah.
really can't.
But
I can't do it.
so we got distracted by Matt Mercer like the rest of the world.
Yeah.
There you go.
What is that? Oh my god.
He cosplayed Ganondorf.
Yeah. So
That's what that is.
Why does that look familiar? Yeah, there it is.
oh, yep.
How funny.
That's hot. So that was Friday. Saturday. Now at this point, Jenna has caught the con crud. She is.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah.
Come in. Just bring it to me, whatever it is, Titus.
Titus.
Sorry.
You know, you're cool. Like, we're just.
Good.
This is like our chillest,
Our needy.
most.
Yeah.
So
It's
Saturday.
okay, just 'cause, yeah, we need
Bring-
There was a panel that we wanted to see about streaming your tabletop games. And Anna and Holly were part of that. Charlie was already there. I was running late because my train was delayed, as per usual.
I'll give you a camera.
So cute. So she was already there, and I got there like halfway through. And I think some of you watched it anyway. And if you didn't watch it, watch the VOD because it was very informative. I need to stop playing with things while talking. So afterwards, though, they came out there like, if anybody wants to like chat or like meet us, like we'll come out of the hall so they can set up for the next thing. So why are you laughing?
Okay, it's not. I'm sorry. Okay, so
It's not a funny story.
no. I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you said. But like, my son was trying to shove me a note under the door because they know they're not supposed to come in here.
Oh.
Aww.
Told me this adorable note. Okay, so it says. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it to where you guys can see it. It says, "Mom, I'm the tripod and have no ideas. Could I do Geometry Dash instead? Choose wisely," and in parentheses, "and kindly." Yes is like a picture of him playing the game. And no says like,
What to do?
Like,
Aww.
freaking
That's so
cute.
sweet. Aww.
That's
I'm trying to do this better.
that's so
Cute
cool.
is that? Look at his handwriting.
I was gonna say the fact that it's in cursive.
Yeah.
His
I've
handwriting's
never
better
seen
than
it.
my
Yeah, it's in
handwriting.
cursive.
That's so cool.
Bravo, I'm teaching him cursive. I never see that.
Yeah, right. I was like, what are you laughing at?
I was gonna say.
So where was I? Oh, so we go to this panel, and afterwards, like they're all coming out. Now Charlie didn't get to meet Holly, because she had come after we had already met her, and then I hadn't got to talk to Anna at this con, and I talked to her at the last con. So we like, you know, people are kind of like hanging out, and like we just wait our turn. So we're actually the last ones that were waiting to talk to Holly. So we got to talk to her, picture, get the book signed, the whole thing. And
Tell her who we were.
what was that?
Did you tell her who we like?
Yeah, well,
what we did? Okay.
then I said to her, I was like, because she was like, oh, from yesterday. I'm like, yeah, like she wasn't here with us. And I was like, and I realized later, like we didn't even introduce ourselves. So it did the whole introduction. She's like, oh my God, yeah, like I know. Like, she's like, I came to your stream once. Really good. Like,
Aw.
it meant a lot to us. So then we were just kind of like bullshitting with her because I had something for Anna. And like, obviously Charlie wanted to talk to Anna too. So, and she was still talking to somebody. So now here's the three of us just hanging out, and like Holly was like, I don't want to be rude, but like Jimmy Wetzel, she's like, Jimmy's trying to find where I am. Like I just need to text him back. I was like, don't think you have to be like present in this moment. Like you're just standing here, and I'm cool about that. So we started talking about like, I asked if she had ever been to Philly before, and she said no. So saying like different things that were around, like where she could go, like told her a Mooder Museum was like 100% up her alley, and she's like, yeah, we really want to go, but don't know if we have time, like the whole thing. So like we were just talking to her for like a good 10 minutes, hanging out, and then when Anna was done and she turned around, she looked at like the one eyebrow kind of went up, and I was like, "Hey, I met you at BlizzCon. I was the '80s Zarya," and she's like, "That's why you look so familiar." And like, so she gave me like a big hug, and like, so we're talking. So then I introduced Charlie to her. So then the four of us are just like tick 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 tick, having this big old conversation. And the same thing, we're talking about like what they've done as far as like helping us get our D&D stuff off the ground, and like how we weren't going to stream until Anna asked if we were going to, the whole thing. So yeah, it was great, and I was sad that Jenna wasn't there, but glad that then Charlie got to meet him. So there's that picture.
It evened out because I was like, I want her to be able to meet both of them at least.
Meet
So
them,
yeah, she got that.
Yeah.
So it was really cool, like, and we got to chit chat with them for quite a bit, and then another girl who's she's also a streamer, like a lesser known person, but she had seen them as we were doing the picture, and she's like, "Oh, can I get a picture too?" And then we're like, "We're gonna let you guys go," like, kind of thing. So yeah, it was just such a great thing. And then we did actually see like Kate and Amy later.
Yeah.
And they waved. They're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" Like, "Oh yeah, we're just best friends." But yeah, and then unfortunately then Charlie got sick. I was the only one who escaped the sickness. So Charlie,
You've still got a 24-hour incubation period. You went back to PAX mornings.
You know what I think it is? I was just sick from last weekend.
I was gonna say you had the strep throat thing from your mom's house.
Yeah, well, it wasn't
right.
strep throat. It was a something. But so I've been taking antibiotics already.
Yeah.
So
I forget that weekend existed because I was super sick that week as well.
Yeah, it was like I was
You were
really
so
shitty, and you were the shit. Like you were one-upping me there. But
I just slept forever and had to get better.
that's what you have to do, though.
I'm so sorry you guys keep getting so sick.
It's,
You know,
I was gonna say it's the Jersey air, but well, no, Adam was here, so it could be the Jersey air.
I will say I have so much respect for people that like basically live the convention cycle now, because I don't know how I legitimately don't know how you do it and not
I must
die.
have ironclad immune systems at this point.
I mean, especially because you're shaking so many hands and signing so many things and giving so many people hugs. Like, I love to do all that stuff, but I don't know how you can do that and not.
And
be-
now
I don't know.
Sick.
Do that because I don't like to touch people.
Right. Right.
So, it would be very weird.
Like that.
And that's
No problem.
something like me, like Kate, Amy, and Anna. They were all like, "Oh my god, let me get a big hug." We didn't hug Holly, and mainly because like she's open about like things, and she has anxiety, and I'm like, I know that Holly doesn't like to be touched. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I really wanted to hug her, but I wasn't going to. So, but then I'm sure you get people though that are like, oh my god.
As I love like all of those people, I wouldn't do that just because like I would be uncomfortable and I don't want to make them uncomfortable.
Right.
We did have a group
Yes,
hug,
we
me,
were
Jenna,
talking.
and Charlie.
Yay!
When we first met her, we're like, oh, big
It was
group
like-
hug.
Yeah, and there was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
in front of the first booth that we went to with the really hot guy that looked like Thor.
Yo, let me tell you, last night when I was
What?
leaving, me and him were walking out together, and I was just like, he was beautiful. This is something too. I've been around the block. I've been to some cons. I've been to some nerd things, LARPs, fairs, the whole thing. There were so many good-looking guys at this con. They were all super tall, the long hair pulled back, beard, like it was just like a lot of kilts, like a lot of guys in
Yes, there
kilts.
were a lot of kilts. That was like
A lot of
what?
kilts.
Easy access.
Yeah.
All about that kid life.
So yeah, 10/10 would recommend. But yeah, so Charlie unfortunately did get sick, and she had to leave. So then I hung out with my one friend who I actually haven't seen him in a couple years, but we always just miss each other at things. Like we go to all the same concerts, all the same like fairs and stuff. So we actually had taken the train in together, so we didn't have to go by ourselves. So I was like,
Okay.
yeah, my friend got sick, and
I
he
was
was
worried
like,
about you taking it alone.
yeah, and he had even said the day before he had driven, and he was like, if I known, I would have just like given you a ride back, so you didn't have to go. I was like, oh well, I left early, so I didn't have to walk in Philly at midnight.
Yeah.
But so me and him were just like, all right, let's get into the gaming now. Like we've met all the people, we've seen all the things. Let's now get into the shit. And we just started from like the side of the con, like the convention center,
Yeah.
and any open table we saw, we were just like playing this, playing this.
Always.
Always start for the right. But yeah, we went through like a whole, and we just played a whole ton of games. The one game we got to play, and I didn't realize it was a game, I had seen it laid out on the table the first day, and it looked really cool, but I didn't realize it's actually the band The Decemberists, if you guys know them.
I do.
Yeah, they made a game.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Hold on.
You bought it.
Awesome.
And not
What?
only did they make a game. Hold on.
Oh, that was the game they
Oh my God.
made.
It's a very cool game. Got to play it, but a couple of them were there. So we were actually taught how to play the game by a few of them, and I don't know any of their names. I like the band, but I don't know any of their names, but they were there. So that was really cool. So obviously I bought it. I also bought the expansion, and then
Yeah.
hold on. This is gonna be a. I have a pin, but it's on my lanyard. They also had these cool pins here, if you can see. I got it pretty much because it looks like me.
Okay.
But the pin is, so their game is, they wanted to create a game that looked like something you would find in like your grandma's like basement or attic, like an old game that they would have played like back in the Victorian times kind of thing.
Right.
So the game, all the artwork looks like old tarot cards, kind of. The board is actually, it almost is like a handkerchief to like set it out.
Yeah.
Like so it has like a very old timey like Victorian feel to it. So the society, it's the Society of Luminaries, is the secret society, and that's what the pin represents. And they actually, and it's not within like arm's reach, but it came on a little card that has like the pyramid going up in the society, and like these are the, you know, initiates and the acolytes and kind of going up. One was like the seer of the eyes, like the different titles. But yeah, it's a really fun card game. It's all about, and if I already had it opened, I would like show it to you guys. But it's pretty much, you are reaping and sowing and harvesting fields. So there's different. Yeah, so like it's but the cool thing is the center will say what season. There's 4 fields, each a different season, but there's certain rules, like you can't harvest in the winter. You can't sow during this, you know, this season. So like each season has a different set of rules, and like it goes from there. But it's really cool because it looks like that old timey. But yeah, so that game is by the Decembers, and we got to play with some of them or learn it from some of them. So that was really fucking cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, because that's like, you don't expect to go to a gaming con and have a band there. That's
so cool.
game. So there was that, and so aside from the pin, the only thing that they were selling that I didn't buy was a vinyl, where they did a vinyl record with the like lore and the instructions for the game, and one of the guys like reads it in like old timey voice. And I was like, ugh, and I was like, no, I can't. I need to save money for other stuff.
Right.
So that was cool. So that was one of my favorite games that we ended up playing. Another cool thing that I got, and this is going, oh, I guess I could go into purchases. Pretty much all that else happened on Saturday. I didn't meet anybody else. We went to Acquisitions Inc. Oh, actually, I take that back. I did meet Pat. I can never say his last name. Rothfuss.
Yeah,
Is that how you
Rothfuss,
pronounce it? while I was playing that game with the Decemberist, he came by the booth and he was like saying hi to everybody. So I did, I'm just.
I have a
Yeah.
weird attraction to it. I don't know why.
But yeah, so we did stay and we watched Acquisition Inc. last night, and that was so cool.
Yay!
So then today I was by myself today. So I pretty much was just going to watch the C team, and I was looking for Danny because oh, that's what I didn't say. When we met Anna, I actually had made her a bracelet, and so I gave her the bracelet, and she was like so ecstatic about it, and she's like, oh my god, it's like so evil, and I was like, yeah, I know. And she's like trying to put it on. She's like, I want it on right now, and so like I had to help her put it on, but again, like I am within 10 feet of Holly, so my hands are shaking. So I was like trying to put it on. So she absolutely loved it, which made me feel. But I had also made something for Danny, and I didn't get to see her. But I did tweet her to see. I know she has a P.O. box, so I'm going to just send her the thing that I got. So I'm sad I didn't get to see her or Chris. But so pretty much went today to watch the C team and make all the purchases that I had planned out for the weekend. And unfortunately, I didn't write down where they all were. So I was like trying to remember, and like it was a rough time.
Yeah, when you asked me about the dry erase character sheets, I was trying to picture the map in my head.
Yeah.
Like, was it like 2 aisles down?
Well, so this was probably the hardest thing for me to find today. The problem was there was a game called Stitches that I also wanted to buy that me and Jenna got to play.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
It was because I definitely wanted to get it. I kept walking by the Stitches booth, and I was like, I'll come back to it. I want to find these first. These were at the Stitches booth the whole time. They were on like a side table, so I didn't see them. So what this is, and unfortunately, when I went back, he had like 50 designs at first, and he only had 3 left. So I was like, kind of slim pickings for designs, but I did get his website, so we could all get them. So it looks like a composition notebook. But when you
website, so I can look at them.
Yeah, I have a picture of it.
That's so cool.
So it's actually a character sheet, and I'll try maybe if I come back a bit.
But you can keep renaming your shit.
Yeah, it's a wet erase, so you can reuse it. But
That's
also,
so cool.
So if you make a new character or you have to change out spells while you're playing and you're like getting hit, it's just a wet erase board. So you could reuse it. So these were $15, and I'm gonna see when I go on his website, like if more people want them, like, hey, can we get like a discount? Like if we get 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to see all this stuff that I got, you guys?
Yeah.
I got my sack here.
I'm so sad that I couldn't go back, but I ended up finding it online. It's money, but it's probably worth it anyway. There was this tie that was there that I was like, I want to get this for Adam for Christmas. It's a red tie, and it has a bunch of silver outline D20 all over it.
It's really cool.
Nice.
And actually, I was going to say, it's funny you mentioned that store, because that's where I got this set of dice, which again...
What's the name of it? I couldn't find the store.
I have their card.
Okay.
It's like some guy's name, so it's going to be hard to see because of the lighting in my apartment, but it's their metal die, and it's like that oil slick.
Oh, yeah, you showed us this earlier. Yeah.
Well, I
That's
didn't show
the
the audience.
Like,
no, the one that
No,
dropped
yeah.
is my other heavy metal one.
Oh, okay.
So I got those. So then, yeah, I got Illimit. There's like a glare. I got the expansion for it. So I'm so excited to play these.
Did you get that disease game that gave me a disease?
Do you mean Death? It's upside down, isn't it? Do you mean Death Wish? So the kicker about this one, this company was really great. They had 3 different games.
That was kind of cute, though.
And you know what I liked
Very
about his
cute,
pitch is like he was such a real dude. He was like, you want to buy this fucking game right now. Like he was not cutting corners.
He did not want to give up.
But they had 3 games, and each day they had a sale on a different game. So the first day, this game was $10. I didn't know the expo hall closed at 6, So I
Yeah.
waited for
I don't
Charlie.
either.
Yeah, I waited for her ride to get there, and I was like, I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna get some dice. I'm gonna grab Death Wish, and then I'm gonna get the fuck out. I went back at 6:30, and it was closed. So guess who had to pay $20 instead of 10?
Oh.
But
Why
what?
just the one day is like $10?
Well, and the other cool thing too about them, any of their games that you bought at the con, you could play
Yeah.
them all weekend, and if you didn't like them or decided like I've played it enough, I don't need it anymore.
Yeah,
up
like, you can get a
until
refund.
up until when they closed today at 6, you could return it. Used, stained. He's like, if the cat pisses on it, and they were gonna give you a full refund. He's like,
Wow.
so that I thought was really cool. So what they did though, the second day, then Saturday when I picked this up, their other game was called Ginger Dead House. And we didn't get to open that one up.
I have two thoughts of what that title could be.
Well, it said it was a grim tower defense game. And the side of the box said "Get off my lawn, witches." So that game, I think that was usually like $45. But they were doing 40% off, so it was only $25. And then if you bought both Death Wish and that game, they had this game, which is usually $25, but was $10. And the way this guy pitched it, now I was buying Death Wish. My friend Jimmy decided he was going to get Ginger Dead House, like not knowing anything about it, just the box and that it's on sale and he could get a full refund. He's like, yeah, I'm going to get it. So the guy's like, well, then I will let you get this for $10. But if I have to tell you anything about this game, I will have to charge you the full $20 price. So I was like,
Oh.
all in. Like, I'll do it. So I haven't opened this yet. I don't really know what it's about. He gave me 2 expansion packs for it. So yeah. So there's that. And we're going to have a game night because I really want to play Ginger Dead House. So.
Well, did you ever cure your dick and pox?
Oh, so this game is opened because we did play yesterday after we did all of our purchases. So this was the thing. Jimmy and I we did like a shop till you drop moment where there was like 10 minutes before the expo hall closed, and we're like, we have like 3 hours until Acquisitions Inc. We need to buy games to play while we wait. So we're like running up and down the aisles. I was like, there's Death Wish. Yeah, get that. And I was like, oh yeah, there's this one. Get that. Like, so it was crazy. So we did play this. I should probably talk about the game, huh? So in this game, you are trying to die first. So there will be a disease on there, which in this case, this one is Smellow Fever. And you get afflictor cards and disease cards. So, like, you may have contracted Smellow Fever because you smooched a zombie. And your symptoms are now that you drool bubbles, that wasn't a fart, and you have a hairy belly button. And, like, and then, then you would get that disease card, and whoever gets the most skulls, like, or gets up to a certain amount and dies first is the winner. So the one that I ended up winning with last night was Dickenpox. So yeah, it's a fun game. It even, let me see if, I don't know if I put it on top or not. Yeah, it even has this cool death certificate. So
Nice.
you can make like copies of that and like whoever the winner is. And then, so we only had the two people playing. You could play it with up to 8 people. And one of the like extended rules you could do for it is you just keep playing until everybody dies. Like whoever lives is the loser kind of thing.
Okay.
So let me see what else is in my grab bag.
All right. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in just a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another game that we really liked, and Jenna, you saw this one, and me and Charlie actually both picked up a copy of this. This is Necronomicards. And I was going to wait until today to get it, but as of yesterday, when me and Charlie went by the booth, there were only 5 packs left. And we were like, oh, are you demoing it? And they're like, we weren't going to because we didn't have the space, but we're about to sell out. So we're going to be doing demos all day Sunday because we don't have a secondary plan. So we did both pick it up. Pretty much you're just you're matching symbols. Let's see if I can. This is fun. I get to like, it's like show and tell with all my cool shit.
I'm like, do I have anything? I mean,
So you're matching your little symbols here, and if you get like so many pairs, you get to summon. You get to summon something like this, and let me find like a cool, really cool one. Oh, also I should say I love the backs of the cards because it's a happy Necronomicon.
Yeah, the happy Necronomicon is the cutest
It's the
thing.
fucking best.
I love that they made a little clay model of it, like this big.
Yeah,
On
that's
the table.
I just wanted all the stuff off the. Let me find. Wait, did I pass Pestilence already?
yeah, so I'm eating an orange.
Go for it. I'm not going to take the time to find the Pestilence card, so I'll just find another cool one. So yeah, they're all like steeped in lore. I'm sorry, I don't have the best lighting here. You can kind of see, so like Baba Yaga, and like they all do something different. And it's just like whoever gets the most, or like up to get 7 summons wins. So it's like a nice little occulty kind of thing. So there is that.
I still have to get that cookbook.
Oh,
that
and
we
that
get.
was another
So I
thing.
saw it.
One of the guys, or like one of the tables, they are doing a Kickstarter for the Necronomnom, which is a Eldritch cookbook, and every day he brought in inbred pudding, which
that was what it was called.
that's what it was. It was super good. And then yesterday and today I went to the table and the guy recognized me and he gave me 2 helpings of inbred pudding. So I'm definitely gonna check them out. Another game I picked up is Adorable Monsters.
Yay,
And
you found it!
it took me a long fucking time. It may have taken me longer than the character card. So the little thing on the box is the card game of scary monsters and the words that make them cute. So what you would do with this is as you play your monster, you would put down scary words, like beastly, 8-legged, hideous kind of thing. And the way you fight other people's monsters is you change the words to like adorable, cuddly, fluffy.
Aww.
And then whoever has like the least scariest monster, I think, wins, or like something like that. We didn't get to play it, but it just looked really cute. And I actually said it would be a great drawing prompt. Like you would make an adorable monster and then try drawing it.
Yeah.
This game Jenna and I played is called Stitches.
Yay!
And in Stitches, you
Are you a snitch?
No, Stitch. You are stitching
You
together.
didn't hear what I said. I said, are you a snitch? Because snitches get stitches.
That's, I thought you said snitch. No.
Yeah.
So this you're stitching together different body parts to make the strongest monster you can to fight another monster. So it's just like a cute, quick game. I don't know.
I love that your adjective is cute.
It's such a cute. Look how cute he is. Look how cute they are with their tiger arm and lobster claw. Such a cute game. And then this game had some of the best cards. This is Pretending to Grown Up. So I'll show that to you on that side. And then on this side, let me see if I can get closer. If you could read some of those cards that are like awkward baby hold, binge watching, like, and it's pretty much you go through doing like pretend grown up things to win. But I happened to go to the table. The one guy that had been there wasn't there when I got there, and a guy was like, "Oh, can I help you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I just want to grab this game real quick." And then as he's like ringing it up, he's like, "Did you want me to sign it?" And I was like, "Huh?" Here, he's actually the creator of the game. So he signed the inside of the box. Never ever grow up. P.S. Eat kale. So, and then like right after I went to buy it, the other guy came back and was like, "Oh, thanks so much for watching the table." And he was like, it's my game. I guess I could do that. And then the last thing I bought, which is funny because it's the first table we visited and it's where Thor guy worked, and I did finally get to play it yesterday.
Oh, you did? Okay. You
Is
bought it.
Eschaton. And in Eschaton,
All these games look so dark.
yes, because it's my life. Eschaton is about starting a cult and having the best, biggest cult and going through the land,
Oh my
spreading
God,
the
are you
word of
serious?
your cult. So I'll just read you the back of the box. If I can, because the glare. The days grow dark and we stand on the brink of Armageddon. It is time to rally the cults and wage war as reality crumbles and the darkest age begins. In this game, you are the leader of a cult engaged in a desperate struggle for the favor of the Dark One. To win, you must collect relics, conquer territories, and fulfill omens that manifest over the course of play. The cult that has accumulated the most favor by these means will stand triumphantly as the Dark One's chosen. All others are doomed to perish in the fires of the end times.
So what happened to the dark people's minions? Like,
So yeah, it was a great game. But the guy did also look like Thor, so there was that selling point.
look like what?
Thor.
I wish I snapped a picture of him.
Yeah.
So
That helped him sell.
He was
long
just
blonde hair, kind of scruffy.
Oh, he was
light
real
beard.
tall, built,
That's-
blonde, scruffy. Which, by the way, I got to see James like 5 more times. Our beautiful Australian dice boy. There is a dice company called
He was
Level
the
Up
same.
Dice. They are Australian dice company and they're premier dice company. If you feel like dropping there you go. If you want to spend $200 on a set of dice, you can get it from Level Up Dice.
Hi!
Hello! They would have had a great time.
Oh, they would have an amazing time.
There is a lot of the games I wanted to play were kids' games.
They can't hear you, so you can speak freely.
Oh, so I could. Just kidding. They could probably.
You can curse it up.
Yeah,
I think that's cool.
Curse it up for
Anyways,
the Dark
bye,
One.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi!
Aww.
Why
Because remember, you got punished. That's why. He's fussing because he can't play the Wii.
Oh no.
He for like a week because he has been.
Well, you said tomorrow.
Tomorrow, whenever your vacation starts. I'm sorry. This is not D&D related or tabletop related, but it is gaming.
It's fine. We're just.
Aw,
But yes.
that was sweet.
Yeah. Always love the candy visits.
I return shadows.
But yeah, so
I'm back.
Level Up Dice. If you want to spend $200 on a set of dice, would recommend. They actually did it like a jewelry counter, where there was like the display case like on both sides, and then they had trays with all the different types of dice. So when you went up, one of their attendants would like bring the tray and let you feel each dice, roll it, like examine it,
Yeah.
see the different like. The whole works. So when me and Jenna first went, the guy, like, we're just looking, and this guy, like, just looks at us, and he comes over. He's, like,
Alright.
6'4", long blonde hair, little scruffy, big blue eyes, and
My
he's
first
like,
thought was fly.
and yeah, me and her are both like, motherfuck, we're gonna buy all the dice.
Until they said, like,
and then-
like, the chambered one, I'm like,
Yeah, well, he opened his mouth and like, oh, that's right, they're Australian. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna do a really bad Australian
Oh,
accent.
dear Lord.
He's all like, he's like,
Ross.
oh, good day, mates. My name's James. I work for.
Did he
Level
really
Up
say
Dice."
good eye, Mommy?
He did not.
he really say that?
He did not. He was a very, very nice. I think he's actually one of the like owners of the company.
yeah. There was some dude that we saw the second time with him. sweet mustache.
Yeah, and a kilt. But
he
he
had no accent.
because I found out yesterday, he is their American correspondent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the one you said winked at you?
He did indeed wink at me.
Ooh.
Ooh. But no, James was very nice, took us through. He was like, feel my dice in your hands. And we're like,
Suggestive.
yeah. He also told me I could use the seal ones as whiskey stones. And I'm like, take
Oh,
me
heck
now. Yeah. So,
He's got your number. He knows you.
he knew me. He pinpointed me. But yeah, unfortunately, like the precious stone dice were like $70. And they go up to, they have a really, really cool caged metal dice that are $274. And then their highest ones are a set of tungsten that were $1,700. So he did say, like, the 8th time that I went back, because I just wanted to keep feeling his dice, that they are going
It
to.
smells so good in your hands.
I know. I was like, yeah, let me feel that one again.
I was like, why can't this be like BlizzCon where we just ran with the jokes?
But
ball sack, it's so heavy.
But they said they are gonna try to do like individual dice. Like right now, you can't get just a cage D20. He said because of like the process, like how long it takes. It takes them 4 days just to cage one dice or one die. So in the future. But yeah, then the guy with the mustache, he did. I had said something as we were walking away about like, oh, I'll come back later, and he was like, I'll be here, but the dice won't be. And then like he winked, and I was like, keep going. So that was Friday. Then Saturday I went back with Jimmy because he was like, oh, I looked at them. I was like, oh, but did you feel them? Did you like hold? And he was like, no. And I was like, come on.
That's how they
like,
get you, though.
I was like, come on over. I was like, you got to feel them. So as soon as I went over, here comes James again. I was like, here's my friend. And like, you did the whole thing. Feel my dice in your hand. Feel my dice in your, feel how nice they feel in your hands.
Yeah, like he'll give you the heaviest one, and then he's like, now this one just feels like crap, doesn't it? He just throws you like a
and then he gives you the plastic one.
Like, yeah.
They only make one plastic type of dice. And it's actually their stealth dice. So when you roll it, you can't see the numbers. And Adam, you would love
black
this.
light.
And
Yeah,
then you have
white.
you use a black light to see the numbers. So like if a DM is rolling, he can keep his numbers secret. Or he said like rogues like to be, sneakier. And then one of the things he said when I had gone back, he heard some people do it where like a DM will roll, like get a whole bunch of them and roll them like in the center of the table. And then say you roll something low, the DM would let his players randomly pick one of the dice to like swap their roll, not knowing what it said. But like say I rolled a 2, then I could be like, all right, I'm going to pick this one and then find out like it could be a 1. Maybe it was a 20. So like to add like a different kind of mechanic,
That's really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yes, they're really...
I only know how Jared mentioned it when he was walking around.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to watch the VOD. Did he go over to the level up?
Huh?
Did he go to the level up dice place?
Yes, and I actually looked them up online.
Did you see the beautiful blonde-haired man?
Yes, he was actually in the stream. Exactly who you're talking about.
That's my boy.
Yeah, so he was there. There was actually a really beautiful Asian man who was like talking to Holly and Jared while he was streaming, like just looking at the dice. He was beautiful.
I did not see him.
He's tall and pretty.
I saw him. Yeah,
I'm telling you, there is a lot of really good-looking individuals at this con.
I was like, we were right to get into tabletop games.
I do have my man, and he's perfect, so it's okay.
We did play. Mandy had played the game before, but we did an expansion of the Red Dragon Inn.
Oh yeah.
And I had no idea how to play the game, but she was like, "It's basically a drinking game." And I ended up winning.
Yep. It is a drinking game.
How is a skeleton drinking and then winning?
One of
That's
the
Ross.
cards is actually a drinking contest, and how the game works is as you drink, like there's different things that give you like that fortify you, and then you get more drunk, and then if like you lose enough fortification and you get drunk enough and the two tokens meet, then you pass out drunk and lose.
Oh,
So yeah, so that was cool. I'm trying to think what else I played.
Yeah, so our suspicions were right about Charlie.
Yeah, she passed
She
out.
took some medicine,
Oh,
passed
no.
out.
No, it's okay.
that's okay.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we really are just like,
Yeah.
we're just hanging, we're just
But
chilling.
anyway, as a reward, we were given these blood light cards.
Yeah,
And it's
blood
like,
light.
yeah, and it's like if you're a vampire, drink it up. Okay. And then I
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
about it. This was like
okay.
before we met Amy and them, and I actually thought about it after we were done meeting them. Like, crap, I could have showed her this card because she's technically a vampire elf. So like, they were like, here, you want this?
Well, and that's I'm trying to think of anything else happened. I did watch C Team today, which did you guys watch it?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. And
Okay.
then
Because one of the last things that happened, and now I'm definitely gonna have to catch up, is Donar was bitten by a werebear and failed his save.
No!
And if I get this correct, he's a dragonborn, right? So he's going to be a dragonborn werebear.
A dragonborn paladin.
He can do the werebear stare, the Donair werebear stare, the Donair bear stare.
No.
So yeah, that was a cool little thing that happened.
Oh, my poor me.
But
and he was learning how to play D&D just from like the first episode of the C Team, and of course that happens to him.
yeah, well, now he's gonna get all those were powers. So, but
Yeah,
yeah,
because Walnut gets to turn into a wolf anytime she wants,
and she did.
and a giant spider, and all these other things. She can turn into a weasel that for some reason has an Italian accent,
Nice.
and it makes me laugh every time.
I mean,
Like, I don't know.
I can do that too.
Yeah, you just haven't done it yet.
I know. Okay, so the reason I haven't done any kind of wild shape is because they're not the best at the level I'm at right now. Because I chose the circle of the land,
Mm-hmm.
circle of the moon, or whatever. I think.
Yeah, Circle of the Moon is the shapeshifty one.
Yeah.
So I would think then you could turn into like a wolf, like a werewolf or like something.
Yeah.
She went dark.
Someday. Like that sticker we found in Little Tokyo, and I was like, "Hey, it's us!" And I
Oh,
was
riding
like,
on
wait,
the back
there's
of
only
the.
3 of us on the back, and then we looked at each other real fast. We were like,
We're like, it's Adrian!
dinosaur!
Adrian's the dinosaur! Yep.
I love that we had the same thought at the same time.
It was like an instant. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else.
Like that movie moment. What else did we do?
I know. I played a lot of games. It was a lot of fun. And I kind of felt this way at BlizzCon too. I wish I made more friends. Like you talk to people, but like you see all the time, people are like, I met my best friend at this con, and like I haven't had that kind of connection with anybody.
Yeah.
So
The only one with me was our friend from Argentina.
yeah.
Because then he just found me on Facebook and sent me a friend request. I'm like, hey!
Yeah, so that's what that'll be my next goal at a con is like meet some rando and just like really, really hit it off and like
get married.
and then get by the end of the weekend married, have like 2 kids, a house, the whole thing. I don't think that's like too much to ask for.
I'm pretty sure that's just how it works.
Yeah, that's what I've read at least.
That's how marriage works, right? You meet somebody at a con, and then like
2 days later, you're married and you have 2 kids.
Yeah. Because time speeds up at cons, right?
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna
That is
roll
true.
roll for marriage.
Hey, okay.
That one's broken. I'm gonna try this one instead. I'm using some luck points. That one's also broken. I bet the one that's down behind the computer works just fine.
I think so.
Alright, cool. We'll just stop rolling dice. Here, I'll use the in-game program. You know, the in-game program I think it forgot my plus 20. Why am I so bad at rolling?
There's that 19 you needed.
12 dice later. Oh man.
Well, there's my one.
Yeah.
So I'm super confused because my computer's not connected to the internet, but I can still talk to you on the internet.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Huh.
your face isn't here
Yeah.
anymore, but you're still.
No idea what's going on. I hate my internet. West Virginia sucks. I hate it here.
You can move up here. Then you can
Trust
go-
me, we
have
look
lots
every
of
day.
Awesome farmland.
Yeah.
Gonna
Every
say
day.
California's nice and super expensive.
I'm not gonna live in California, Adam. I love you, but I'm never gonna live there. Did I ever
That's
tell you,
okay.
Adam, that I used to actually live there?
No, I didn't know that.
No.
No.
I lived there,
Whereabouts?
and LA. Well, actually, it was
Oh.
it was Big Bear.
Okay, Big Bear's a nice
Oh,
area.
okay.
It's away from
Just-
everything though.
Yeah, but I mean, it was really snotty, and everybody was rich
Yeah.
and mean, and
That
Like-
sounds about right.
oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So I lived out there with my boyfriend of the time. He had a house out there, and it was a really nice house. I mean, he had a house in Big Bear.
Yeah, Big Bear.
Yeah.
So, for those of you watching on the stream who aren't familiar with California, Big Bear is kind of like a nice lake area up north of LA, outside of the city. Beautiful, like, relaxing destination area.
Yeah.
Gorgeous place to be. But
Expensive.
definitely expensive, and it definitely has a bit of an exclusiveness club for the people that actually live there.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the how
It's
dare
like-
they put
it's
hydrangeas
like-
on their yard and lower everyone's property value. Would you like to come over for tea?
Yeah, it's like a country club, but it's a whole community town.
Yeah.
And but that's where we live. That's where his house was. Like he did a lot of stuff with the military. I won't get into it anyway, because a lot of it was like secret stuff.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, so he got paid like bank.
Wow.
So live out
Anyway,
there,
so we
you
lived
have
up
to.
there, and we stayed in like Palm Springs for a couple of weeks, and I didn't like any of it. I was like, "Where's the grass? There's no
yeah, we don't have that
grass."
out here.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
You know what happens to our grass? It caught on fire somewhere in like the first month of spring,
And now
Yeah.
it's gone.
and now it's gone forever.
Well, this
Your
was
uncle had some grass.
quite a while ago. This was, gosh, how old am I?
Well, I think that happens every
11
spring
years
though.
ago, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's the springly grass firing. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we just kind of catch on fire periodically throughout the year.
This grass is on fire.
Yeah, accurate.
Oh no. I don't know why Roll20 won't come up, but I can still talk to you on Discord. This doesn't make
0 cents. So I guess, do we want to talk about some D&D now that we let's?
Yay!
I
Yes,
I was gonna
please.
say is
This would be a conversation I feel like I can be a part of.
I'm sorry. I was
Oh,
just
that's
like, this is all the stuff that I did, all the people I met.
You're just really excited. That's fine.
Yeah, I am. Well, I'm just like looking at my dice. Like, I really want to use dice, like legit, like just that having that weight in your hand, you know.
What
It's
was
like a nice
what was the name of
feeling.
that guy that does the whiteboard stuff? Because I'm honestly like,
Oh, here I have their website on my phone.
I was
Holly
card.
I was gonna say Holly and Anna did get to see the background on my phone, and they loved it. And
Aww.
Holly actually recognized I had the bird feather necklace on yesterday,
Oh, you
and she was like, "That's from my pigeons," and I was like,
did?
"Yeah."
She
And then-
knew which pigeon.
Yeah,
was
and then
it.
she got like she was
doesn't
looking
know.
at it, and she was like, "This one's from Limpy. He's one of my," and like she said the kind of pigeon he is, like one of those really fluffy ones. I forget. And she's like, "He's got a limp,
Yeah.
so I named him Limpy."
Oh,
That's
And you know
amazing.
what?
So it was like she knew.
From your suggestions, like, oh, go here in Philly, go there, and then it was like, I think, like a couple hours after you saw her, maybe like an hour or two after, she went to Independence Hall
Yeah.
to see like where the Declaration was written with Jimmy.
oh,
Yeah.
that's where he dabbed on George Washington.
Yeah, and she was like, look, we made some scroll friends. I'm like, oh, of course,
Yeah.
they're just there.
Because I told her, I was like, if you just go down Market Street, I was like, and when you get to the low numbers, like 6, 7,
Yeah.
like 5, 6, 7, I was like, that's where like the Liberty Bell, like I was like, that's
Yeah.
your history stuff's that way.
Yeah.
The booklets, go figure, are www.rpgbooklets.com.
Love that. Thank you. Of course it would be that. I'm looking it up on like Etsy thinking he's got to have a shop there.
Well, they said like I guess they didn't think it was gonna go as well as it did. So they have to like make new ones and replenish.
Yeah.
And all that fun stuff. What is this?
That's like your Mr. President voice.
Mr. President.
Yep. Okay, so D&D stuff.
Yeah.
Adam,
Yeah.
take us away.
D&D stuff. I don't know. So Xanathar's Guide to Everything came out last week.
Yes.
Mandy's favorite magical item has come out.
You're the only one that I showed the item to. Only because I thought you might be able to
Yeah.
use it.
So I mean, like, long story short, lots of cool stuff in there. Trying to think of like, so obviously there's new subclasses for every single race
Mhm.
or every single character class that came out. So that's super cool and
Druids,
exciting,
too?
including druids.
Mhm.
Druids get. Hold on, I have it all pulled up here. Xanathar's is actually open in another window for me.
I'm really excited.
So druids get access to the
Gameplay?
Circle of Dreams. Yes, it's available for gameplay now. And because I bought it through D&D Beyond, you all have access to it as well.
I'm looking.
So if you go to our rule books, at the very bottom there's Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Druids have the new Circle of Dreams and Circle of the Shepherd. And they also have a whole new section on learning beast shapes that help kind of formulate what shapes you may have seen in your adventures before becoming an adventurer.
Oh, okay.
So that can help kind of build your repertoire of monsters that you might know how to transform into. For Rangers, it introduces the Gloomstalker and the Horizon Walker and the Monster Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
And for Rogues, it introduces 4 subclasses. It reimagines the Swashbuckler from the Sword Coast guidebook. And then there's also the Inquisitive, the Mastermind, and the Scout.
Okay, so where do I go on D&D Beyond to see all this?
So go to the compendium, and then
Okay.
under Rules, there's a new rule book called Xanathar's Guide to Everything, the letter X towards the bottom.
Yeah. Adam, you're so cute. I love that you're like, starts with an X.
It sounds like
I'm
a
used to
C.
working with, like, people who need to be guided step by step by step by step by step by step by step.
Well, I mean, that's typically me, but I can read. I actually can read.
Yeah. So outside of
Oh,
just the subclasses, they also introduce new tools for the Dungeon Master, which is stuff that I care about. It gives some advice on how to like handle simultaneous things that are happening, what to do if characters are falling, how characters can be woken up from sleep if like we have a like I roll a random encounter while you guys are taking a long rest or something, and you know you have to wake somebody up.
The cool thing, let me pull it up too. I
Mhm.
like, and I think they have this in like all of the books, but I never really looked at them before. where it's like when you're building your character or something, it's like you roll this die, and
Mhm.
whatever it comes up is gonna be like that's a flaw that you have, or like, you know, that
Right.
kind of stuff. Like, and reading some of them are so, like, they're funny. Like, I'm like, oh god, that was
So,
the
yeah.
greatest.
There's a couple different versions of those. So there's the class ones that are in each subclass. So like maybe as a barbarian you have a totem, and you never really knew how to develop your totem for your spirit animal or something. This gives you a table that you can just straight up roll on and be like, oh yeah, I am a totem of the eagle,
Yeah,
and
so,
this is
like,
what my thing is.
As I have cats. So in this, like, okay, personal totem, I got a 6. An egg-sized stone in the shape of your spirit animal that appeared one day in your belt pouch.
Yep. And then if you go even a little bit further into the book, after all the subclasses, there's a section called This Is Your Life, that is all about helping build character backstories and telling, you know, what was your character like before they were an adventurer? How does that impact them now? It has more random tables where you can roll events stuff. So, like, if you aren't sure what kind of character or upbringing you would have had, it throws some ideas out there. How many siblings do you have? Are you the oldest, the youngest? Were you somewhere in the middle? Things like that. It's really creative, really helpful.
Like, I almost want to make a character, like, just use the tables and make a character and, like, see what happened. Like, here's something, like, half-elf parents, roll a d8, because Jayas doesn't actually know her parents. Like, she knows she's a half-elf, but she doesn't know who, what, where.
Wonder if E knows her parents.
So on this, I rolled a 5.
I'm really your mom.
She's not mine.
So it says one parent was an elf and the other was human for that. But so the other options are like one was an elf and one was a half elf. One was a human, one was a half elf. Both were half elves. So you could do it that way. Tiefling parents. There's like a chart for that. But see, they're dead. But do you have an idea of if they were human? If like one was a tiefling, one was a human? Like
when did they die? Like were you old enough to remember it? All sorts of things.
I have to go back to my backstory. I think I did.
Let me see. Where's my other? No, that's not it. I cannot roll a metal and a not metal. So birthplace. Do 3 zeros mean 100?
Yes.
See, the dice thought they were being. They were like, I will give you 3 zeros. So apparently, my birthplace was an outer planet of your choice.
Okay.
Use that how you will. Ooh, do I have siblings? This is fun. All right, so 3 is 1d3. I have 2 siblings. Interesting. This is, I think I'm gonna just like make a character like this.
So like the new stuff that's come out about like the different classes, the subclasses, they're not going to have any effect on our already established characters, right?
So normally, no. If you've already created a character, you wouldn't really get any of these abilities unless you start multi-classing or something.
Right.
However, there may be certain processes or something that I could, have some kind of intervention where maybe a druid of a different circle and they train you in the new ways or something, where if we decide that that's something, like if there's a subclass that you really like, talk to me about it. We'll see if we can make it work. I'm not a fan of saying no for the sake of saying no.
Right.
So if there's like a good way that I can tie story elements into it that makes sense, I think that'd be awesome.
I wonder if they're because we don't have a healer, right? We have no cleric.
Yep.
If like not necessarily me even, but somebody else had dual class for that or something, like. Yeah,
I mean, it's not unheard of. Like there are perfect example. Critical Role has a character who is a rogue for I think something like 15 levels, and then starts multiclassing in Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And there's some great story elements that tie into how that happened and why his story arc went that way and all that kind of stuff. So there's always different cool ways that we can bring those together.
I mean, I have to incorporate the only one that's a healer.
Hey, I can make good berries. Like,
This is true.
But it's not like I only have like 3 or 4 spells that can heal.
Yeah.
right. Well, I know when I was looking at like if I was gonna take a feat or all that, one of the ones I looked at was the Magic Initiate one, figuring like I could take healing spells, but I was like, I don't think that's Jayos's style. I mean, she took good
Yeah.
berries because she liked the word good berry.
Right.
I'm like,
And from like what I was taught, like Adam, I was thinking that maybe because of that past and as a like penance, she could want to do some healing afterwards. Thinking about,
Yeah, I mean, there's
I don't know.
there's plenty of different options.
Yeah. Andy's so cool. I love that I happened upon you guys and like especially Adam as a DM because you're so understanding and you're willing to teach me.
Yeah, for sure.
he's
I
not
think
one of these ones that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, there are some DMs that are like, come to the game ready, come to the game
Yeah.
knowing what you want, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like,
How is anybody supposed to learn like that?
yeah, it's I can understand if you want to run like a high level campaign with established players and stuff, but
Yeah.
those should be fewer and farther between than just your pickup group. And I think that for me it's much more fulfilling and rewarding to have a group of players that are learning to play
Mm-hmm.
and to be a part of that experience than it is to just run high level content because it's super challenging and awesome and hard or whatever. Like,
Yeah. I like the enjoyment that we can get with you as our DM.
aw.
No,
Thanks.
seriously, because you let us play the game and it's not constantly just like a huge chat. There's such story and stuff and like atmosphere. I don't know.
This is the enjoyment me and Mandy get when we're around him, and the enjoyment I've gotten my entire life.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop it.
the enjoyment of Adam.
Too much.
Especially when he wears his Stitch onesie, and it's even more adorable.
I do love it. Stitch
I think
onesie.
we need to have a onesie day on the stream.
I can
I'm
get
down.
I've
one.
been eyeing that Murloc onesie.
I've been wanting to get one.
That would be a good excuse. I mean, I'm happy to be an enabler for you getting a onesie.
My cat
So, should it be like
onesie.
character driven.
No, it doesn't even have to be here. Oh my god, the first time you do your wild shape, you should wild shape into like be like and then she wild shape.
I could like or something over it and have the hood pushed back so you can't tell.
Yeah.
And then I could have like I could like cover up my camera for half a second and then I can just like and like
I wish I could do like a smoke overlay to like just cover you up while you're still getting changed.
It'll be like the
Oh, that'd
Beauty
be
and the
so
Beast, like da, da, da,
Yeah.
oh, I can't
da.
my wild shape into a dragon.
Dragon onesie.
Oh my god, that would be so
wondering
good.
That'd be
If
great.
we ever do get to Chult for the dinosaur races, if by that time we're just gonna look at E and be like, you can transform into a dinosaur by now, right?
Yeah,
So we don't
that's
even
it.
have to spend
Yeah.
it.
And I could be a race dinosaur and you wouldn't have to like worry about controlling me because I would have higher
Because you
intelligence. I would
control
totally
it.
win
And
that
the
race.
sticker we found would be real. A dinosaur and the 3 bunnies on top.
Yep.
We just find like bunny outfits and just wear them.
Bunny
like, we're the
onesies.
happies.
I have to say
You
I
mean
was
bunsies?
bunsies.
Wow.
Ooh. I was very tempted to just wear my cat onesie to the con today. And it's funny because so Erica Ishii had posted last night on Twitter that she went to see Thor again. And she was like in a onesie at the movie theater. And I was
Yes.
like, So I commented, I was like, yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna go to PAXU tomorrow, like in my onesie. And she's like, oh my god, yes. But unfortunately, I left it at my mom's house when we got back from BlizzCon. I left it there because then when I wasn't feeling good at her house, I was just like all in my little cat onesie with the ears and the paws. I was like, and I was like, I'll leave this here because I'm always sick when I'm at your house. So I was like, I do have my zebra onesie though upstairs. It's not as cool though as the cat one.
I have to go through the things that I can wild shape into.
And then find the matching onesie.
Yeah.
I can be a bear.
I have bear slippers, like barefoot slippers. Oh, bear claws.
Buyers.
Bears. Bear grills.
Badger.
My foot is. I'm trying to think. I'm so excited for like all the stuff that we're gonna do in this campaign. Like I already have like so much that I'm like. We talked about a lot of it in like California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like different things and like how.
I think we even talked a little bit of it with Mick, just to like,
Yeah.
give us, like streaming advice.
Yeah.
By the way, he put up something today. He's like, it's Sunday, you don't have to get up. I'm like, I wish you could have told me that earlier because me and Mandy have to stream today. And he just writes back in horrible spelling, just go back to sleep.
I didn't get to watch the video because I was at the con, but I saw the go back to bed.
Yeah, bad.
Bad. It's like, oh gosh. So he's a very cool dude. He had a lot of tips on streaming, like, and not just so much streaming, but like the social media aspect, handling the positive and the negative. And at the panel yesterday, they touched on that. They're like, sometimes the positive things coming through on social media can be just as exhausting as the negative things.
Yeah.
This is true.
So yeah, it's like there's a balance. All in all, I feel like invigorated. I really wanted to play today.
This is the best month I've ever had.
Yeah, they've like already done so much.
Yeah.
We're doing the Lord Lathanda's work. And can I say, and I don't have the picture handy, but when they signed Charlie's book, Anna wrote "Can't Hurt Sunshine." I was like, that's the greatest.
She put it on the Twitter thing.
Yeah. It's really
What's
cute.
the C? Is it CR, CP for wild shape? The combat power or whatever?
Oh, CR. It's challenge rating.
Oh.
Ooh. That's right, because there's like different levels that you can do.
Yeah. So like right now, I can do any kind of animal except fly. Right?
Yeah, I believe when
God,
you
I
hit
just
level
can't
4, you
fly.
got swim.
You know, not all dragons fly.
Yeah, but I don't know of any dragon with a CR of like 1/2. So like.
Let's see, 0 to 1/2. Filter by dragons. Could be a pseudo dragon. I've never seen a pseudo dragon before. Or an ambush drake.
The hell is that?
I have no idea.
It sounds real cool.
Looking at the list because I'm trying to find a list right now.
Jenna's holding up the
Yeah, that was the
Can't Hurt Sunshine. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And then when Holly signed the book,
Yeah.
she signed Strix also, and she's like, Strix signs her name like she's a metal band.
It's like it's just.
Yeah. It was like it should be.
Yes. So cute.
So goddamn adorable. Oh my gosh.
Creatures by CR.
Let's say.
Go through this and pick the one.
Here's how I sort. So let me drop it into our little Discord chat here. So from the monsters tab, you can actually filter by challenge rating and then use the little buttons on the top to also filter it down further.
Okay.
So I usually start with that and then look for things in there that look interesting.
Okay.
So you could do like filter by challenge rating 0 to 1/2, and then click filter,
Sweet.
and then you can go even further and like look for beats. So
Yeah.
you can be a cat.
You can totally be a cat.
Kitty.
You can also be a dolphin.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I can swim now. And
And it's a
No
meat-
water yet. I'm a dolphin. There's no water. It's just flip flopping.
Also, you'd have to see one, but you could be a Dimetrodon.
is that a dinosaur? That's a dinosaur, right?
It's a sail-backed reptile commonly found in areas where dinosaurs live. It
Yeah.
hunts on shores and in shallow water, filling a crocodile.
Tanya, that's her fate with Chult. She's gonna be our dinosaur. And then it's like, now I'm like thinking, if we do that, what if like your magic just runs out and we're like about to win the race, and then it's just like, and you're back to normal.
What is the like timing?
I was just
Of
trying
it.
to think, like, what's the duration?
I think
Of a wild shape?
it's until like I run out of hit points or I choose to
On
Yeah.
wild
shift
shape.
back.
Yeah,
Like, we
basically,
don't
wild
get-
shape lasts until you run out of hit points, and then you pop back to your normal form, or until you
Yeah.
choose to drop it, as far as I know.
Then you're not gonna hit. Like, yeah.
Super cool. What time is it? Oh, 7:30.
I was going to say, we are actually at time.
At our time, yeah. See, look, we could just bullshit for hours.
Oh, easy.
So,
Oh, I could be a honey badger.
Oh, hold on. You can stay in a B shape for a number of hours equal to half of your druid level rounded down. So at level 4, you could be a badger for 2 hours.
Okay.
So there is a something in there that has
a
to it.
timing.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this will be it for us for now. So we want to try doing our regular stream next weekend then?
Next weekend is Thanksgiving weekend. Does that work for everybody?
I'm
Yes.
cool with Thanksgiving, but yeah, like I was almost gonna have like we do like Thanksgiving 2 for like my mom's side of the family,
Right.
and my cousin wanted to reschedule for Sunday, and I'm like, if he does that, I'm not showing up. And
I-
my brother couldn't go either because he has an Eagles game to go, so it's gonna be on Saturday. So I'm good.
I am tentatively good for that date. Because Kyle and I work on the holiday, we have Thanksgiving that weekend. I just don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday.
You're working on Thanksgiving?
Of course I am. Players need
My
help.
husband is
today.
too.
I actually have off Thanksgiving as of right now, unless they decide last minute that they want to run packages. I'm gonna send you guys a
And then-
really cool
And then
picture
the
of
next
something
week
I
to
did.
come for you.
That
Yeah.
are sleet, rain, snow, or turkey comas.
Turkey comas. I'm trying to get the light.
I'm
I mean,
It'll be coming in next week.
for me, I guess we'll just have to ask Charlie.
Yeah.
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 Because god damn it, I want to play with the dice.
I want to play so bad, so I'm really
I know.
excited.
I was.
Murder
I didn't get to
house.
play any D&D this weekend because that was another thing. The sign-ups were not handled
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
It was that Viking game, the Norse god thing.
Yeah, we didn't
that
get to
had,
do
like,
that
sign-ups, and I was
either.
like, I don't know if we'll...
Didn't get to do that either, but it's okay. We got to do a lot.
Yeah, like the game was $30, and then I was like,
No, the game
well,
was
how much was, like,
$40, and
40.
then I
and
think the
what were
runes.
the tokens?
I
Yeah,
think
the
the
runes-
tokens were 30. And I was like,
30. Yeah, I was like, and he's like, well, if you don't want to buy those, you can just like print
copy them out of the
box.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, the back.
Yeah.
Around that, but I kind of want them.
All right, so we are gonna call it. Thank you for joining us with what we've been doing for the past couple weeks that we haven't been streaming. As you can tell, we've been
Yeah.
very busy people.
Some of us.
So, you're busy in the sense that you're like, you have to be there for us, you know, to like encourage us and
Yeah. And
Aw.
raising kids, that's a
yeah, that's a
I
full
think
time.
I think I'm doing good with the raising of the tiny humans. I think I'm doing
Yeah,
okay.
that's like a full-time con because like you could get con crud from them children every day of your
Oh my
life.
God. Yeah.
Well, since mine are homeschooled, they don't get the crud.
That's good.
Yeah.
I feel like there should totally be a mom con now, where like moms can get together and just have some time off.
And just have some margaritas
That's
and like
all-
Hell yeah, man.
The weekend.
That's like wine play dates.
And mimosas in the morning and margaritas every night. MomCon 2018.
Done.
To a
At
city
the bar
near
up
you.
the road from all the moms every weekend.
I invite everybody to come over. I
All-
make the best margaritas.
All of the all the bartenders are like beautiful men.
They all look like our Thor man.
Yeah.
And our
I mean, as long as you throw in a couple that look like Brandon Flowers, I'm good.
There you go.
We could probably make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Just make my husband bartend because I'm convinced that he's like a doppelganger for Brandon Flowers.
Aw.
Oh.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Keep an eye on our Twitter that we're totally gonna use more.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
For
yeah.
announcements.
So,
Yeah, or just check back on this on here regularly.
Yeah.
Um,
We're not skipping a
so
week. We're gonna play the next Sunday.
yeah, this Sunday 4:30 regular time.
4:30 next Sunday. We're here.
Yes, we're gonna play Murder House. Damn it, or Death House.
We're gonna finish Murder House.
Yeah.
Finish it, yeah.
Ah.
Unless it finishes us.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, we're gonna get slayed. All right, goodbye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
The children in the background, I see. Yeah, bye.
And we're off. All right, that was fun.
That was good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.